I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My family's on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who be caught up in using what I was called with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena on. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcasted like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's the number one Chief Rock and Knicks Universe, your main man, Uncle Freezie. And welcome to the Knicks at Night podcast. Y'all want this party started right. Y'all want this party started quickly. Right? All right. Let's go. Y'all know how we rocking and rolling. We're going to jump out here. We got to say our chant before we get started. Blue tears, orange tears, Blorange tears. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Again, I'm your main man, Uncle Freezie. And I'm setting it on your left, y'all. Setting it on, I suggest y'all set it off. Shout out to my main man, David L. in the chat. Ralph Unreal is in the building. Mega NYK is in the building. DSJ, what's good? Adam is in the building. The son of the legend, Kerry Cox, is in the building. Bronx Mel is in the building, representing BX. Let's go. BX, stand up. BX, I love y'all, man. I love BX. BX, stand up. Okay. So we're going to do something a little bit different tonight. We're going to do the pre-lottery breakdown. And so for this pre-lottery breakdown, man, I'm not going to have an open panel, right? I'm not going to do an open panel for it because I got to stay on track. And y'all know how it is when we open up the panel. You know what I'm saying? Cats is all like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Blase blah. Yo, you put a topic out there and cats come in the door and they talking about how much they hate John Starks or whatever it is that they want to talk about. We're not gonna do that for this first little bit, man. We got a topic that we're gonna chop it up with. We're gonna chop up this topic, man. We're just gonna scientifically break down everything. And then from after that, answer a few questions about it. And then if we have time, then we'll open up the panel. But we're not talking about the Golden State Warriors tonight. We're not talking about the Lakers tonight. That's not our intention. Right? We're not gonna, talk about how much some of y'all hate Randall or how some of y'all hate Tibbs or none of that stuff. We're gonna do the pre-lottery breakdown and establish our position. See, because it's the off season for the Knicks. So we're going to break down our position, our place in the NBA. Talk about what this draft lottery means to us and what happens if we are positively and negatively impacted by the draft. I got my main man, Dre, coming through the door in about 3, 2, 1. What's
you?
up, boss?
I'm chilling, bro. Chilling, bro. All things considered, can't complain.
Hey, man.
Besides the Knicks, of course, I can always
Oh,
complain about the
the
Knicks.
Knicks could just. Oh, geez, the Knicks can just, bro. But anyway, man, listen. I want to get straight to the nitty gritty with the pre-lottery stuff. You know what I'm saying? The lottery is tomorrow. The lottery is in about 20 hours,
Ooh,
21 hours, right?
came up on us quick.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Well,
man.
it always comes. Well, it comes upon you quick when you actually watching a team that has something to play for.
Yeah,
when you're out of the playoffs, it feels like it takes 3 months from when the season ends to get to this point.
right, right. But that's the good part of having spring basketball.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when you're playing spring basketball, it's all about um um the next game, the next opponent.
Laser focus.
Yeah, yeah. But when your team sucks, it seems all the improvement moments take a bajillion years to get there because you know you need to improve.
Right.
It's like waiting on Christmas.
Right.
You
Uh,
know. Yeah, man. So before we get to lottery odds and lottery teams and who we suspect will be the winner of tomorrow's draft lottery and all those things, let me first start by asking you a serious question and put some things on wax, right? I want to start with what is this team's most pressing need of improvement? What area does this team need to improve first, in your opinion?
First, shooting.
Okay.
But if I had to pinpoint it and target for a specific position, shooting from the wing, legitimate wing players with size and versatility.
Wow, that's a lot all in one.
Yeah,
That's a lot all in
it's
one
a
thing.
lot, but they kind of just make them in a factory now. It feels like,
Yeah.
particularly for this draft.
Um, Particularly for this draft, the next couple of drafts, I just don't see it.
Mm.
The next couple of drafts, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I just don't see it.
So, like, I, I don't know if you want to jump right into names, but like, you you not interested in like a GG Jackson type?
Yeah, in this draft,
Yeah,
yes.
this draft.
Yeah. This draft, yeah. No. Hear me out. In
Yeah,
this draft, I see it.
right.
In 24's draft, I don't see it. In
Mm.
25's draft, I don't see those type of guys that's going to have that type of impact. Unless something miraculous happens, unless DJ Wagner grows 5 inches.
But here's the thing, with regards to like lengthy wings, a lot of them end up being upperclassmen, and you don't see them right this second, but they pop off the page, and a few years down the line, like Trey Murphy, for example,
Right.
or
Who
one of the
started out
Murray
at
brothers.
he started out at Auburn,
Right,
transferred to Virginia.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Guys like
It,
Herb Jones
yeah,
stay in college 4 years.
yeah, and when we talk about those skills in terms of what you want in a wing player, the shooting is usually the last skill to come along, which is why you see guys like, um, for example, Trey Murphy, for example,
Right.
that you see come along and play multiple years in college, and they bring along the shooting that they develop multiple years later. Because to be absolutely honest, it's very rare that you see a 19-year-old with a jumper, like a NBA ready jumper,
Right.
40% from
Right.
goal,
Right. Just don't happen.
and they usually have terrible shot selection, right?
Right.
Or you can talk about Mikal Bridges. He came out of college 3 years, I believe.
Right.
And
Well, Noodles had all the skills.
yeah,
Noodles just needed an NBA weight room.
right,
Noodles got a NBA weight room and a dietitian and all. You see, like all his stuff come along. The stronger he got in the NBA, he was stronger overall in everything. Like his shot base was stronger, his screen navigation was stronger and better. He was able to take bumps in games, whereas at Villanova he'd get bumped, and you
right,
see the pain in his face.
right.
Like the difference between being 175 and 210 is a real thing.
Right.
You know,
And like when we talk about like these types of players, Keegan Murray was 2 years in college. These guys, they'll just pop up. They'll pop up the 6'7", 6'8" guys once they get a little bit more seasoning in the college ranks, develop their skills a little bit more, get their bodies more NBA ready, where they're not necessarily ready at 18, 19, but they become ready at 21, 20.
right? Okay,
We'll see these guys show up. This is what happens, I guess, almost every draft. You'll see guys become more NBA ready when they define their skill set to become what
right,
GMs want in terms of
right.
role players. Now the star players are something different, like a different beast. You'll see
Those are
that
different
early.
breeds.
You'll see that early, but the guys that turn into role players
Right,
or even go further than that, they might need a little bit more seasoning. So like when I talk about guys like that, it like Keegan Murray's brother, Chris Murray's in his draft.
yeah,
And he's
right,
been steadily improving his jumper.
right.
So, like, that might not be realistic. That might be a reach if we were to ever get in that position. But yeah,
Well, the key is being patient
right,
and knowing what you're getting. Right. That's the thing is on draft night when you draft a 19-year-old, you're not looking at what he could do at 19. You're looking at what he'll be at 22,
right,
at 23.
right,
And even if he exceeds expectations at 19, 20, 21, you're still looking at what he'll be at 23, 20, 22, 23, 24.
absolutely,
Right. So the thing I wanted to the reason why I said I don't see it in 24 is because all of those things that you just mentioned,
right.
you know what I'm saying? Like for instance, Bronny James. What is Bronny? When I see Bronny James, I see Gary Payton II.
You don't see Pat Beverly?
No, I don't see
That
Pat.
might be a little bit too insulting.
Yeah, I see Gary Payton II. Pat Bev. I think Bronny James is talented and skilled. He'll be a playmaker in the NBA, but he is not, Big Bron.
Nah,
Nobody,
not even close.
nobody that has walked this planet is Big Bron. LeBron is one of one, and there's a one of one player in this year's draft. And then there are, I think, Dre, I'm going to say this for the first time, right, tonight during this show, right? But there is I think you could have at a minimum 8 Hall of Famers out of this draft.
Ooh,
And at a minimum, at least 13 one-time All-Stars out of this draft.
mm.
Right? But next year's draft, I just can't see it.
Yeah, nothing really pops out on the
Right.
page for
And
next year's draft, at least for
right,
me. Like, there's
and
nowhere that we're really awaiting. Like, a lot of the guys we're talking about in this draft, we've been talking about them for 2, 3 years. Like, can't wait till they get to the league. Like Scoot, for example,
right,
talking about Scoot for 2, 3 years.
right, right,
Vic as well.
right.
So
And listen, I'm not Nostradamus, bro. I'm not Nostradamus, but there are some guys that when you told me who they were going to be, I was like,
mm,
I
yeah,
just don't see it. And listen, not saying that it won't happen. I just don't see star. Right?
right.
When and for instance, when I first laid eyes on Trey Murphy III, I think I was the only person in Knicks universe that even mentioned his name. Like there were 3 guys over the last couple of years that I mentioned their name, and I wish the Knicks had went out and got him.
Name them,
Right?
if you don't mind.
Last year. Now think about this. Last year, this time, a lot of people on this channel they were bombarding me with the name Johnny Davis.
Oh God.
You remember him?
Yep.
I was getting bombarded. Uncle Freezie, you don't know what you talking about. Johnny Davis is NBA ready. Johnny Davis. And I was like, nah, I like Ben Mathurin. I named my dog Benny. I like Ben Mathurin. Right? I like Ben Mathurin.
I need
Everybody was
that
like,
NBA. If you're gonna be a prospect or raw in any way, you need to be an NBA athlete
right.
immediately.
Right. And so I like Ben Mathurin. He didn't win Rookie of the Year. I don't know how many games he started, but at Arizona, he follows in that lineage of Arizona shooting guards. And like so how I knew that he was going to be a dog is because when you look at the Arizona shooting guards, when you look at the Iguodala's, when you look at the Lonzo Triers, when you
Lesser
look at
extent, Josh Green.
Josh Green, amen. Now we talking, right? It's like the Duke small forwards, right? If Duke has a small forward that's getting attention, you can best believe he's going to be in that Grant Hill, Shane Battier, Mike Dunleavy, Jason Tatum, Brandon Ingram, R.J. Barrett lineage, right?
NBA ready almost immediately.
Yeah. If you're a 6'8" small forward and you're looking to get to the league, you go to Duke. Because Duke will, if you're a small forward, all around the world small forward, go to Duke. That traditionally, that coaching staff knows how to get NBA small forwards ready for the draft, ready for the next level. Right? It's you know what I mean? It's like if Kentucky has a big, you got to look at him. If Kentucky has a center or a big, you got to look whether it's
Or a power forward.
yeah,
big.
Whether it doesn't matter whether it's DeMarcus Cousins or even Sam Bowie. It don't matter. Whether it's Sam
way
Bowie,
back with it.
Yeah, Sam Bowie, DeMarcus Cousins, Terrence Jones, Julius Randle, Willie Cauley-Stein, Scala BCA, Carl Anthony Towns, Anthony Davis. And when Kentucky has a big,
Trey Lyles.
Trey Lyles.
Trey Lyles
Yeah.
is a 4 now, but he was a small forward, I guess, back then.
Yeah. Willie Cauley-Stein and Scala
Jared
BCA.
Vanderbilt,
yeah.
PJ
Washington. What's the other big? He's still in the NBA now. He played center for them.
For that team.
Oh, for that team, he played
Nick Richards.
Nick Richards. Yeah. So
I tied the two because they both play on the same team.
Yeah.
They're both on the Hornets.
Yeah, and so that's how I kind of I'm like, okay, Arizona's got an athletic shooting guard. Oh, he's gonna be something. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's easy to find certain guys. Now the guys off the radar are the ones that'll give you issue.
Right.
Those
diamonds
are ones
in the rough.
Right, and in a sense, like Scoot Henderson, I know Scoot Henderson is going to be a Hall of Famer, right? A Hall of Fame caliber player in the NBA. If injuries don't get to him or something derails him, I think he's going to be a Hall of Fame caliber player, right? He's one of the dudes that I'm counting in this class, right?
Skilled, athletic, with a feel.
But it's hard to know how good he's going to be because he didn't go to Arizona. He didn't go to Kentucky. He didn't go to Duke, right? He's playing against guys, and you're like, this competition level, what is it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's the same thing with the Thompson twins. When you see OTE, you're like,
But then you see certain things they do on the court. It just pops.
Right. And you don't know on a night-to-night basis if they can do that consistently in the NBA, or are they playing like at 60% only to get out of that season healthy? You know, like a Shaden Sharp,
Right.
at Kentucky. Didn't play. He had like a very soft injury, like I think it was like a soft shoulder injury or something. He like, yeah, I'm just gonna hang around. I ain't gonna play.
And then he already knew that like his prospects was going to be super high. So the only thing he could do was ruin his stock at that point.
Right, by playing through an injury.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. But ultimately, ultimately to the thing that you first stated about the team need, I think I agree with you. My only thing though is I need some separation in it. Like, do I have to get a wing player that shoots, or can I just get any shooter? You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things. Like if you told me, well, the only shooter available is a 6'4" point guard that shoots, I'm like, hey, I'm
Mm.
still taking him.
Think so?
Yeah, I'm still taking him.
Okay.
Yeah, because because the thing is when you look at the NBA right now on your 15+2 roster, right? My opinion is you always need 4 point guards. You need
Right.
your starter and his immediate backup or tandem. Sometimes he'll back them up. Sometimes they'll play together. Right? Sometimes you stagger them. Sometimes they're on the floor at the same time. Then you need and this is my formula. Then you need an old ass vet, somebody old as dirt, right? Somebody with all the knowledge of the position that doesn't threaten those two, right? But he can fill in and play and stretch Derrick Rose.
Right.
And then behind Derrick Rose, you need an absolute raw freak of nature guy with high upside that can in 2 years
Put him
push.
on ice.
Yes, and let him come along slowly. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I'd like to see the Knicks do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go get a point guard who's gonna be a point guard. You know he's a point guard from day one, right? You know he's a point guard. Played point guard in high school, played point guard in college. No combo guard, right? No, don't combo me nothing. Just a pure point guard, right? And bring him along behind Rose. Then when Rose leaves, then he can ascend to that 3 spot, and then you bring in, say, another old as dirt veteran like George Hill,
Right.
right? Just somebody in that line. And then that way you have your veteran who will be 26, 27, 28, right? And then his backup will probably be like 24, 25. And then the other guy you just drafted will be like 20. And then
Mhm.
you bring in George Hill, who'll be damn 37.
Layers. Just layers, layering your depth.
He'll be
Contingency plans. Almost.
he'll be the vet on your roster, so your team don't turn into the Memphis Grizzlies where you have all these young kids and no vets. You feel me?
I would. I would. I would agree with that, Freezy, to this point, to a point. But I also feel like we also have like a dearth of guys that have potential to be pretty good shooters in the 6'4" and under range
Okay.
that are already in the roster that are pretty young that are already getting rotational minutes.
Right.
And like we might be able to target a project player in that two guard space, but it also feels like we should target even a project or a ready-made 3 and D guy or a guy that has the potential to be in a year or two because
I don't disagree with you though.
we're so lacking in wing size. It
Right.
is it is kind of embarrassing when you look at what our team roster composition is compared to the rest of the league or where the league is moving.
Okay.
Necessarily, I won't always agree because, to a point, you need to try to think futuristically,
Right.
but you also need to be able to keep up with the Joneses at the same time.
Right.
And
So
if you're
I
getting
don't
out hustled,
disagree with you. I mean,
Like,
I don't. Yeah, I think we on the same page. But but I use the example of if a point guard was there. I agree
I
with all
feel
the
you.
stuff you're
I feel
saying.
you. I feel you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. I'm just saying if I'm not gonna. Excuse me. I'm not looking to retrofit or any of that stuff. Right. I'm just saying
Right.
if the shooter that you're talking about is there in that space, I would rather draft the best player available with that upside that you mentioned, as
Right.
opposed to reaching as opposed to taking a second round pick at 18. Is what I'm
Yeah,
getting at.
reaching and trying to plug in a guy for a
Right,
particular spot. Like,
right.
hypothetically speaking, if you got the 11th pick, it'd be like
Right.
if we reach for Bryce Sensabaugh or something like that.
Yeah. See, nah, I ain't doing that. Yeah.
That would be like reaching for a second round talent
Right. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
bottom
I
first
ain't.
round talent with someone that's right up there,
Right.
as opposed to hypothetically speaking, targeting like Jalen Hood or something.
Right. 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 The big guard out of Ohio State. Yeah. I did know. I got you. I got you. Yeah. My main thing is I understand that we need shooting, and quite frankly, shooting needs us.
Badly.
You know what I'm saying? And then too, the point that you made about shooting, I think a lot of times the reason why people in the chat get up in arms and confused and argue with each other, because we never get to a point where we could talk about the type of shooting, right? On that wing that you mentioned that needs to shoot, are we talking about somebody that can create a shot for himself, or a spot up shooter, right? A great relocator, a fancy ball handler that can create shots for himself and others?
Right. And
Because
that would play itself more to a guard
r-
than
r-
a bigger wing if you were looking
but
for a guy who can dribble a little bit.
right, the reason why I bring it up is because most times those skill sets don't go together.
Yeah, there's little overlap.
Yes.
Bigger
Like
you
if you're
go, the
Klay
less
Thompson,
dribbling you're getting. Yeah.
right, if you're Klay Thompson, you value not dribbling and you value excellent relocation. If you're Joe Harris, right? If you're what's the other kid from Cleveland?
From
Chetty
Cleveland?
Osman.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
Chetty Osman, you value excellent relocation skills, right?
And
Now,
it depends on who's the coach as well, like his philosophy, how he values shooting.
right, 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 and so that's the thing that I was gonna mention to you also is like yo, there is always degrees of separation when you're asking for a certain thing. Trust me. Bro, I've been with a lady for like 30 years, bro. When she asks me for something, I got to be specific. Like, you sure that's what you want? What color is it? How big do you want? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because in chat, y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, you know how like your girlfriend say, "Man, I need a car," and then you go to the auction and buy her a $800 car that smelled like old water, and she like, "No, that ain't what I want."
There's being
There's
descriptive.
levels to this thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's levels to this. So the reason why I say the shooting thing is something we should probably address, but we need to address a certain type of shooter. And for instance, do you need a rhythm shooter? Because rhythm shooters we already have some of those. Like Quentin Grimes is a rhythm shooter. Like he's got to get shots up in order for him to, you know what I'm saying? Or
Because before he even got to the league, he was a high volume player.
right,
Working your way from high volume to just being consistent, no matter the
right.
no matter the context of your shot, is something hard to do, and it's not really
That
expected out of
takes
a 22-year-old.
skill. Yep, that takes skill.
It's
That
like
that's
it's like
a
it's like being a pinch hitter in baseball. Like, younger guys can't really do that.
yeah. In order to be a pinch hitter, a DH, you have to be a natural hitter,
Yep.
right? You got to be a natural hitter. It's the same thing with shooting. In those moments, you have to be a natural shooter. It's probably your best skill set.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you're a great shooter first, and then your other skills
You
come
fully
to
fleshed it
bear.
out. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, like being able to relocate and get open. That might be your second or third best skill. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
it's one of those things. And then if you're the Knicks, you're thinking, okay, so we need shooting. So we need shooters, right? Or do we really just need efficient scoring?
Mm. That also comes back down to who's your coach.
Then also comes back to right, because for instance, if you tell me that I can trade a bunch of picks for, say, like, who's the best 3-point shooter in the NBA right now?
Stephen Curry?
Is it Curry? I'm talking about like by percentage.
Oh, literal percentage?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
uh, um, Luke Kennard. I was about to say Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard
Luke Kennard, right? Luke Kennard is the best 3-point shooter in the NBA, right?
by percentage this season. Yeah.
By percentage, right? Do you need a Luke Kennard or do you really need a Shea Gilgeous Alexander?
Ooh.
An efficient scorer. And I'm talking about the Knicks this year. What do the Knicks this year need? Do we need a scorer or a 3-point shooter?
It depends. Well, it depends on what you're willing to give up
Okay.
ultimately, because Shai ain't going for a chump change, whereas a Luke Kennard would you wouldn't have to give up necessarily the house to do that.
Right.
You can give up like somebody at the end of your bench in a couple seconds, and you'll be able to get a Luke Kennard, hypothetically speaking.
Right. Right. Because here's my thing with that, right? If you are the Knicks and you only need 3-point shooting,
I'm. This is the thing. Like, I don't believe we only need that. We're a few steps away. We need like in my mind, we need another guy that can get his own shot, bring the ball up, orchestrate an offense from. It doesn't necessarily have to be a point guard. It can be 2/3, whatever. Just a point-ish forward or guard, just a guard that can orchestrate an offense. And we need tertiary shooters. Like,
right?
we need both.
Okay.
So it's one of those. It's one of those things where the blueprint is out there. We like the way we lost this series shows you exactly what you need. And across the board, we lacked a secondary ball handler, especially when IQ. Even when IQ was going down, even before IQ went down, we needed a secondary ball handler.
Right.
And with that aside, besides Grimes in our rotation, who were you looking at as a guy that you want to be a shooter, like a traditional, classic, quote unquote shooter? We didn't have too many of them.
Alawaz just read my mind. Alawaz, you just read. Hey, bro,
Corey
Alawaz just
Kispert.
read. Yes. So what I was gonna say to you is if you're the Knicks, just why not add 2 rotation players from the Washington Wizards? Why not add Denny Avdia for ball handling and defensive flexibility and Corey Kispert for this coach?
I I would love the idea. I love the idea
What, what
personally.
what would you give up, right? What would you give up in that case,
Obi,
right? Bro, you read my mind again. And no disrespect to Obi,
but
no
if we're
dis.
talking about team needs, those are team needs, and we're talking about positional flexibility. Those guys can play 3/4, mostly
Right,
3 for Kispert, but Denny is big enough to cover. Because when we talk about teams that go to their bench, teams are not running 2 traditional 4s.
no,
Teams are running small forwards as their 4 off the bench, like
right,
Denny.
right, and no doubt they play the same position, right? So when they come here, they wouldn't start. And it's no disrespect to Denny Avdija because he's probably an NBA starter, right? But
Depending
you
on
have to
the situation.
Yeah, but you have to consider the Josh Hart thing. If Uncle Freezie is frustrated that Josh Hart botches lineups because of what he won't do offensively and defensively, then adding a taller version of that just exacerbates a already complicated and confusing situation.
True. Well, you're talking about like in the draft, right? Adding a taller version of Joshua,
No, I'm talking about
or
adding Diddy
or
Abdija.
okay, right.
Um,
I can agree with that because when you're playing with Denny Adija, you need multiple shooters.
you need, yeah, and scorers, bro. You got to have scorers on the floor with him because he can
Even though
get the
he's
ball,
actually slowly improved his jump shot over time, but it's not where it needs to be.
but he's not the immediate answer.
Right.
He's that guy that you remember the example that you gave where you draft a wing and you expect him at a certain age to be a guy.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah.
Because when the Wizards drafted him, he was super raw.
Yeah.
So, but in this draft here, I think the need. Okay, so we kind of have to separate it some. Like the draft lottery, there's nothing we can do. All we know is stations and places
Right.
where guys are gonna where you start your off season is basically the lottery, and then there is the workouts leading up to the NBA draft in 6 weeks.
The combine.
Yep, the
Well, the
combine.
combine is underway as we speak. So
Yeah, the combine is underway, and for those that didn't know, the NBA.
they're having like runs between the prospects, which is where Grimes was at.
Yeah, I'm referencing the G League and all the under leagues combines were held also before this
Right.
before the
Okay.
combine, right? And so now you're at this. Now we're at this situation, at this position where you're like, what are we gonna do here?
Is
What are we
they
gonna do here?
they well, depending on how the draft, I mean the lottery shakes out, we have if we get a little bit lucky, we have multiple ways to pivot in terms of getting our team better for the
Right,
short and long term.
right.
And even without that, we still have multiple ways. So
We can, yeah. I I think we're in a position where we can do a lot of things. But let's finish. Let's talk about the needs first.
right,
Though lay all the needs out there so that everybody can follow where the conversation is going, and then that way all the other things we can just plug and play. You okay with that?
yeah,
All right. So where I think the Knicks also need attention is wing defender.
mhm,
Right? When we play against the Toronto Raptors, they exploit us on the wing because RJ ain't it, Randall ain't it, and then Grimes is it, but he too small.
yeah. So we're talking about straight up athleticism,
Right, right.
functional athleticism.
And I'm talking about this specifically. I don't care about the other skills this player has. Right. I'm talking about can we rotate 2 or 3 of these type players onto OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, and Pascal Siakam.
And not be at a complete disadvantage.
Right, right. Can we rotate these 2 or 3 type players onto Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum?
Right. Make them
You know what
work.
I'm saying? Can we rotate these type of guys onto Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, and Dorian Finney-Smith?
Right. Can we find a Jada McDaniels?
Right. And just for this job, right? Just for this job, right? Your job is to play as a 19-year-old, work your way into playing 10 minutes a game under Tibbs, and Tibbs at the end of quarters is gonna play you about 3 minutes a piece. After he's gonna play you 3 minutes at the end of the first, 3 minutes at the end of the second, 3 minutes at the end of the third, and that's it for your night.
Right.
Can you do that? Can you do that
And learn on the fly.
and learn on the fly and slowly increase those minutes into something else? Right? It's just one of those things, man. Can you do that? Can we find um
Might be another lefty, but Chris Murray probably would fit that mold the best out of
okay,
anybody
okay,
that I've seen in terms of having a all not quite all the way there yet NBA ready skill set, but it's on the precipice. It's right there. You can see it developing.
okay,
And if you look at his brother, it's the blueprint for him is right there when you look at his brother,
okay.
and he's around 6'8". Not the hyper athlete, but
No, he ain't hyper.
very sound athletically, like just good enough.
Right, right,
So he's not slow. He's not slow mo out there.
right. I'm gonna say a name. I like that name. I like Chris Murray. Right. I like Chris Murray. Right. But I'm gonna say a name to you that nobody is mentioning, and if we come away with this name, I'm telling you, we are gonna be able to smother teams to death. And his name is Noah Clowney. He reminds me of a guy that I've been trying to get from the Orlando Magic forever. Right? So he reminds
Jonathan Isaac.
Jonathan Isaac. You read my mind, bro.
Yeah.
Right? So he reminds me of Jonathan Isaac, and that he is so athletic and tall and rangy at the same time that his athleticism it don't look real. Right? It doesn't look, he doesn't look smooth like Brandon Miller. Right? He doesn't look smooth like Brandon Miller.
At least not on offense, but on defense, he can
He's better.
teleport. He
Yeah.
can teleport.
Yeah.
For his size, he can teleport.
Right. He is you remember the backcourt of Sexton and I mean not Sexton, but yeah, I guess it was Sexton, the backcourt of not Sexton. God dog it. I keep forgetting the Alabama point guard.
Kira
Lewis.
You
You remember the backcourt of Kira Lewis Jr. and Herb Jones?
Yes.
Bro.
Swarming. They
Oh
swallowed up other teams' guards.
Right. And so it's one of them things where it's like you get a Noah Clowney, right? And all of the things that we talked about, it's no longer an issue if the kid is what he looks like he can be from what we see in college. No prospect is guaranteed except Vic. Victor Wembanyama. Hey, listen, Hall of Famer. He might be the best player in the league in 3 years.
Ooh,
right?
3 years?
3 years. Yep.
That quick.
Yep. That quick.
You've been convinced.
No, I do my homework.
I know you do your homework, but I mean, when new data presents itself, as a logical, sound person,
you know what?
Yeah.
What made me flip the switch on Vic?
Yeah.
Is a point guard hit him with this crossover, bro. I mean, I could see the cross coming, and so instead of crossing, the point guard went in and out, which fooled me.
Yeah.
Because it looked like the cross, but he did the in and out, hezzy, then cross, and you can see Vic's hips flipping like this.
And it was like someone that was 6'5" doing it.
He is it. Yep. When I saw somebody 7'5" flip their hips like that, he's it. He's it. Because all you really wanted to see from Vic is he quick twitch enough to use his height to his advantage.
Yep. And that's the thing when I said he just moves different.
Right.
Like there are 6'8" wings that don't have that fluidity.
Nope. There are 6'4" guards in this league that don't have that fluidity.
And they're legit NBA guards defensively, and they don't have that.
RJ Barrett is not as athletic as Victor Wembanyama.
Nope.
Bro,
No, not even like and I love RJ. He's not 1/4 the fluid athlete he is that Vic is.
And no disrespect to RJ, all we're using is a comparison for everybody
Yeah,
to go by.
yeah.
Right? That's it. Just a comparison. That's it. No
And
disrespect to any of our players.
and to have body control at that height, it's beneficial on defense and offense
Yes.
because he can put himself in positions just being 7'5", that's enough for him to get his shot off.
Right.
But he can be damn near a contortionist. He's gonna be a foul drawing machine once he figures out these NBA refs.
Well, I think he's going to be both. I think he's going to be a fouling machine and a
Yeah,
foul
yeah,
drawing
yeah,
machine early on.
yeah, for
But
sure.
as he gets respect from referees, he's going to be it.
Because there's this thing where Luca said like playing in this league is a lot easier because the physicality in the game is more wide open. Like there's less physicality now. Well, not less physicality, but they call the game differently.
Differently. Yep.
So you can get away with certain maneuvers and putting your body in particular positions to draw fouls. And
Right.
yeah, he's gonna be an issue help prevailing.
Right. Right. That it all and listen, everybody. The main thing we're saying is we're saying this thing if everything is ideal.
Right.
They go to the right team. They don't get an idiot coach. They don't get hit with a bunch of rash injuries. They don't. The roster is not totally whack in 3 years.
Right.
We're assuming that.
Like if he goes to like the Spurs and he can steadily build his frame out in two,
Right.
3 years
Right. Just
with the
get to
right
two foot.
tutelage and his IQ getting sharpened by someone like Pop, sky's the limit. If
Or
he's
a
healthy.
Pop protege or a Pop pro because Pop
Right.
ain't gonna be here forever.
Right.
Right. But a Pop protege like Brett Brown.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because in my opinion, and I know this has nothing
In
to
terms
do
of
with
development, Brett Brown can do it.
Brett Brown turned Ben Simmons into a point guard, right? Ben Simmons came into camp wanting to be a point guard. Brett Brown helped develop him into a point guard. Now,
Whatever happened after that,
after
that's
Brett
it's on
Brown,
the
yeah,
player.
yeah,
It's on the
yeah.
player.
Whatever happened after Brett Brown left, Doc Rivers
He
and
lost
Doc
his confidence completely after Brett
right,
Brown was gone.
right, and that means a lot too. Confidence is everything in the NBA.
Yeah.
Look at Obi.
Yeah.
Confidence is look at Grimes. Confidence is everything in the NBA. But Dre, to the point that I was making though,
Mhm.
a Noah Clowney, you're not going to expect him to come out and be knocking down the three ball though,
No, no,
right? Right? You're not expecting that. You're not expecting him to be a high level finisher at the rim,
not
right?
yet.
No, you what you're expecting from him is a name I bring up all the time, and nobody knows who I'm talking about except me. Remember the conversation we had earlier when we were naming all the Toronto Raptors draft picks, and I
Yeah.
said Jerome Williams, Junkyard Dog,
Junkyard Dog, JYB.
JYD. Yep, that is who you want Noah Clowney to be for us, right? A Dennis Rodman type player,
I want
right?
to say this like maybe the earlier years of Jeremy Grant when he was just a defined power forward because he had no other skill set. He
Right,
was just big and long and
right,
lanky. And I
right.
think I think Clowney's frame dictates he's going to be bigger than that,
Yeah,
where he can put on more weight than Jeremy Grant. But
right,
those long, rangy defenders with no really defined offensive skill set, but when
right,
you roll the ball out there, he can play,
right, right.
provided you have other offensive players.
And you know what he does the best. The best thing about him is not necessarily his shot blocking. Maybe his shot blocking is not where you want it to be, right? But for the most part, he can do these things without fouling, right? And
Which is a skill.
he definitely offers deterrent. He's a deterrent at the rim, but
Yeah.
man, he will rebound his behind off. So not only does he defend, he helps you close out the possession.
He's one of those margins players. Like if
Right.
Spoelstra got his hands on him,
Spoelstra would, I think, turn him into a high level starter. I think Spoelstra would put him in between Bam and Jimmy Butler right away. Turn him into a because all he does well is all he wants to do. Right?
yeah.
He wants to do a certain thing and he does it well.
And
He is going
Spoelstra
to
is the type of
defend.
coach who will hide the things that he can't do well.
Right? He's the dude at 6'10", 210 that will guard Jalen Brunson. Right?
Yeah.
He'll guard Jalen Brunson. Then he'll guard Julius Randle when Julius Randle get hot. Then he'll guard RJ, right? And he'll probably take on the entire game. He'll probably finish with 8 points on 6 shots and make 3 free throws.
Kind of like Jared Vanderbilt ish when he
Yes,
came out. That
yes,
that 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 move.
that.
Even though
Yep.
he's actually taller than Jared Vanderbilt.
Yes, yes, and I think he's got a longer wingspan, and I think he may be just as athletic, or maybe more athletic than Jared Vanderbilt.
Right.
I think he
But
may
that
be.
but that but that level of versatility will be something that's used. And he's probably in the gym right now working on corner 3-pointers because that's how teams will use him. Corner 3-pointers and just sick him on anybody 1 through 4.
Sick him on Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
And listen, in the first year, Kevin Durant will roast him. But in the second year, Kevin Durant will be like, I see you, big fella. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's like we see a lot of these wings that come into the league. They're learning on the job, so they're getting killed the first, second times running into superstars.
Right.
But they're like learning machines. They're like the T1000. Just come
Yeah.
back a little bit smarter.
Every time. Every time.
With a new trick in their bag.
Right. Right. Every time they're learning. Every time. Every time they're learning. Like you can't um beat them with the same move twice.
Nope.
You just can't. Right? So I mean, so if you're the Knicks, you look at Noah Clowney. The only thing is if you draft him, what do you do with Obi?
Oh, you have to trade him for a future late first rounder or something to reset the scale.
Right.
Or
Right.
hypothetically, if you're looking at a Noah Clowney, I'll throw this out there. The Pacers own 2 late first rounders,
Right.
and that's where Noah Clowney is mocked to go.
Right. In
Late
that
first round.
in that
In that
that late first, early second. Yep.
in
Yep.
that 25 to 30, 35 range, anywhere in between there.
Right.
So you try to reset the rookie scale wage with someone at OB size, but a different particular skill set.
Right.
It's a little bit raw, but you can buy the time because he's not making no money, but he's
Right.
still growing. And
Right.
then you check back in. He's like a growing plant. You check back in year 2, halfway through year 2, see what you have in him. But
Right.
you're really looking at year 3 as that milestone, that stepping stone.
Right. Right. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. When I look at it, there are a lot of guys in this draft that fits that mold that we want to. Like for instance, Leonard Miller is very interesting, right?
I like Leonard Miller.
And not because um you think he's going to come into the league and be Kevin Durant or Kevin Garnett for that matter, whichever, however you see him.
Any Kevin you could think of. Kevin
Yeah,
Willis.
Kevin Will. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. My thing is my thing is if the Knicks get the 11 pick or later, 11 through 14, whichever one it is, the Knicks have the option of trading back in this draft with teams with multiple first round picks.
Right. To get right back into the first round.
Yeah, yeah, you can. If you're say Atlanta, would you be interested in a trade with the Knicks at 11 to trade up to get say a Nick Smith, another playmaker for your backcourt?
Whoa,
Um,
whoa, whoa, whoa. Can you rephrase that? Like, you trade up with Atlanta, or trade
no, no,
back
no,
down.
no.
Say it again.
I said if you are Atlanta,
Oh, right. Okay.
if you are Atlanta, would you be interested in trading up with the Knicks to get a guy like Nick Smith, who's not guaranteed to be there, so that you can get the big playmaker in your backcourt to go with DeJounte Murray and Trey Young, and not only that, he can be your insulation in case DeJounte
Contingency.
Murray leaves in free agency.
Right. The contingency just in case
Yeah,
doesn't really work out.
yeah. And if you're the Knicks, would you pick up the telephone with Atlanta? I would say yes.
I would say yes, but like thinking about their roster composition, the fact that they gave Bogdanovich that money in order to be like the combo two guard, that is also a secondary playmaker, even though
Right.
he's iffy with that at times.
Yeah.
They're kind of in a position where they gave up two firsts in a swap, essentially three picks
Right.
for DeJounte. I think they're all in on paying him. Like if they don't pay him, it'll be really, really bad. Like
Really bad.
bad.
Bad, bro.
That would be a complete misallocation of assets.
But but you
And
but
and
you
and I don't think they can. I don't think they can afford to trade up again on top of that to make
but
a contingency plan,
but here's the thing.
unless they're trading an actual player. Yeah.
Here's the. You see, you said a lot of stuff. I was trying to jump in. It's like
Right.
double
Right. My,
dutch. You
my
know what
bad,
I'm saying?
Freezy.
You look
My
like
bad.
I was trying to jump in on that first point that you made.
Right.
Yeah, first, the mistake that they made. You can't compound mistakes by ignoring that the mistake actually happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If there's a way for you to fix the mistake, then fix the mistake. Live with the egg on your face, but you'll be better for it in the long run.
Or
Se-
like us giving up 5 second rounders just to get Kemba and Alec Burks and Noel up off our books.
yes, yes. Right. And secondly, the primary decision maker, from what I hear now, is the coach that you just brought in.
So he's definitely he has a certain type of player he's looking for.
That he is comfortable with having. Right. So he is going to make the roster in his image. Right. So all that happened that destroyed the Hawks before he got there, he don't even care. Those are not his players. You know what I'm saying? I would not be surprised to see DeJounte Murray traded. And I heard from, I think it was maybe We Talk Hawks. And yo, listen, man, y'all check out We Talk Hawks. I think they're like only 4 subscribers away from hitting 1,000.
Shout out to them and Demond and the analysts. Shout out to all of them boys.
Yeah, shout out to my guys, man. They
Good
growing like
content.
wildfire. Yeah, they growing like wildfire over there, man. Very, very good content. And we're gonna link up sometime, man, a couple of times before the draft, so that we can, you know what I'm saying, do a draft show with them and Rel. And I'm gonna see if we going I'm gonna see if we can get the Miami Heat guy to stop talking trash long enough to see if we could do like some type of collab, and also SB Sports Talk doing the Chicago Bulls aspect of it. Um,
I know he's hoping that pick lands in the top 4 so they can keep it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm
But
hoping they jump up there so that Mavs pick actually drops.
slides. Yep, 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 yep. I'm with you, right? But here's ultimately though, if you're the Knicks right now, the these two needs that Dre and myself can't be the only two needs on the roster, right? What I see is a lack of point guard play behind. Well, listen, I see a lack of point guard play. Let me
I
just put
need
it.
lack of guys that can handle the ball, period.
Yes,
It doesn't
yeah,
necessarily have to be a point guard. It could be a point forward, just someone with savvy and doesn't get rushed or sped up when they have the ball in their hands. But usually, if you're not a point guard, you're going really high in the draft,
yeah,
like a Cade,
yeah,
like guys like that. When you're tall and you don't get sped up when you're dribbling the ball, no matter what type of press or defense that seeing those guys go really high in the draft.
really high because they're rare.
Yeah,
They're rare. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is my thing is with the Knicks, I think we need a secondary ball handler. We got to have one, bro. You can't leave this offseason without a dependable secondary playmaker.
for sure.
Um, I don't know if quickly is it. I doubt it right now. He needs more time to grow. Right now, I think quickly is probably that third ish point guard.
Yeah, but
Now, now,
he's really just a guard, but he's looking to score. Like his all his dribble moves are to score.
right, right,
It's not he's not turning his back like Sam Cassell when that
right,
offense is winding up and you seeing the actions develop.
right,
he's
right,
he's not doing all of that.
right, right. No, no doubt, no doubt. And I'm not knocking him. I'm not saying that he's not a quality NBA player.
What if, Freezy? What if I'd say this? Would you be interested in like a guy like Corey Joseph to be your backup point
The,
guard?
no, he can't be the backup point. Can he be
Or
the
not
old
the
ass vet?
yeah,
Yes.
the old ass vet, but I mean
Yeah.
okay, for sure. I was gonna say like you could make sure quickly has a lot of the ball handling duties,
Right.
but if it comes down to it and teams are trying to press and trap you, you
Right.
can reliably give it to him. But when we're talking like setting up an offense for your second unit and IQ's doing the playmaking, Corey could just sit in the corner and shoot a three, which that's legitimately I
And
guess what he's best at.
and right and so everybody trying to understand, trying to figure out what I'm talking about. Think Kyle Lowry.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Think Kyle Lowry. Right. Unfortunately, Miami didn't have the young point guard. They want one. Trust me, they want
They
a
looking.
young point guard. They've been looking for one for years. Right. But at this point, no, no. Right. You want. I mean, Gabe Vincent is starting. If they could find a young point guard, you can guarantee the order will be that young point guard, Gabe Vincent as his backup, and Kyle Lowry being the vet. Right. That's probably how it would work for them. Right.
Right.
And so for us, ideally, say,
What about Ish Smith? Or is that just an old vet?
oh man, I would love Ish Smith, bro.
He's a free agent.
I would love Ish Smith as that um
Because he's also an older player, but he's also a professional. And
right.
if you need spot minutes, he can give you that too.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love bro Ish Smith. Hi, man, I
Would
would
add
love
on to his record of NBA teams.
yes.
Surprisingly, we've been bad and he hasn't been on our team. I don't know how that happened.
I don't know how that happened either.
I have no idea.
I,
We had signed Alfred Payne twice, but Ish Smith ain't. Clyde Fraser's your favorite player ain't been on the Knicks.
ain't been on the Knicks, ain't even been in the city. Never
Not
been
even not even we ain't even call his agent
right. We ain't
to
even
see what's
consider
up.
him. Yeah, yeah, something about that is
Off.
weird. Yeah. And so yeah, man, I while I don't think this is a point guard heavy draft, I think this is a definitely a wing player draft. I don't know if there's a dominant wing in next. I mean, I'm sorry, dominant point guard in next year's draft or in the draft after that. I don't know where we would find and I don't know where we would find a CP3 type point guard being
Oh
available
nah.
within the next 3 years.
I'm keeping yeah, but before or after CP3 was hard to
Yeah,
project that. It just you don't really see that type of guard. Like I'll say this. Scoot Scoot, while very athletic, he does some Chris Paulish things in terms of
right.
feel for the game. I won't say he has that Chris Paul feel. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna jump out the window. That's
Relax.
crazy talk.
Yeah.
But his inherent feel for the game, like his pace, he doesn't always use his quick burst. He doesn't. He's measured. Like he knows he can take a guy off the dribble at will.
At will.
but he works himself to the
Any
mid range.
player, any player off the dribble too, by the way, not just his player or a player. It don't
Anybody.
once he gets into the league, we're talking about, and I don't want to overhype him, right? But from what I see, you're talking about a Stephon Marbury, Allen Iverson type driver to the basket. Like it don't matter if you got Teron Lue over there, who was
I
a
was gonna
pretty good
say,
defender.
you know what I was gonna say? Like he reminds me, like the way he reminds me of like Steve Francis, but with more feel at the same point. Like he looks for his teammates. Steve Francis is kind of just
You know
in
what?
the
I
same,
agree.
like he's the 6'2" ish,
Right.
hyper explosive, stout guard, but not
Yeah.
too stout. Like I wouldn't compare him to like Baron Davis. Baron Davis was just
Like what Dennis Smith Jr. was supposed to be.
yeah. What are you supposed to be?
Yeah.
Like
Like
Dennis Smith Jr. just had one gear, whereas this guy has multiple gears. Can
and
downshift, can shift all the way up, turn it all the way up if he needs to,
right.
or when he feels like it.
Right.
Whereas Dennis Smith was like, I'm going to the lane, I'm going to the lane, I'm going to the lane, I'm going to the lane.
Right.
Like he would telegraph what he's doing. You get a
Right.
charge. When he was a rookie, you get a charge every game, at
Every
least
game.
one.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Scoot is definitely, and the mid range game is immaculate.
That's the part where I was like, where I compared him to Chris Paul because at that age, that's what Chris Paul had,
Right.
which most young guards don't have.
Right.
Nowadays, the guards that come out, they want to shoot the 3-pointer or get to the rack.
Or
He
dunk.
has the in between already, and he's building inside out, which
Right.
is seldom seen. And in terms of like longevity and all, it's easier to it's easier to build out inside out than outside in.
Outside
Just
of, yeah.
Looking
Yeah.
at James Harden, for example,
Right. No
like
doubt.
James Harden never built up that in between isolation game
Right.
until it was like 28, 29.
Yeah. When he had to incorporate it.
Yeah, when he slowed down a little bit.
Yeah. And so chat, while I'm not saying that we should be trying to draft Jalen Brunson's replacement, what I'm saying is we should be looking at Jalen Brunson's help.
Yeah, because ultimately, when you're drafting these guys, you want him to be able to help Jalen Brunson, and as you said before, Jalen Brunson is an elite catch and shoot guy.
Yep.
So you want to give him breaks off his legs. You don't want him to run the offense the entire time.
Indeed.
Granted, he's shown the ability to against a high IQ, high profile defense and a great coach.
Indeed.
But ultimately, you want Brunson to last into his 30s, his late 30s, well not late 30s, but mid 30s, if he's going to be here for a long time.
Right.
Because you look at Isaiah Thomas and what happened to him, running him
Isaiah
that
Thomas
much
was
time.
out of the league at 32.
Well, we could say both.
Both. Yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where while Brunson doesn't necessarily exclusively rely on athleticism, you still need a bit of quick burst. You still need a first step at that height. You
Right.
still need to be able to handle physicality and dish it out. And just doing it over and over like that, it doesn't spell a long career
No.
if you just keep running them like this.
Right. And ideally what we prefer is for Grimes and RJ and Randall to be those floor spacers, 3-point shooters, and a Tom Thibodeau offense that showcases complexities on a night-to-night basis.
And flexibility.
Right.
Because
we know we're not getting that.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's one of those things where we would like Grimes to show his point guard chops that he had in high school. But we don't know if he'll either develop that or he'll get to showcase that with twos. Because there's been so many times where I've wanted us to start a set with Grimes starting from the backcourt and him bringing it up.
Yeah.
And even if you give it to Brunson with 18 seconds on the shot clock, you still gave him a breather. You still showed the defense a different look. You're still
Right.
showing Brunson catching the ball on the move, putting pressure on the defense instead of, okay, Brunson's bringing the ball up. There's already 14 seconds on the shot clock. And then there's 10 sets of eyes already looking at him.
Right.
Well, 10 eyeballs, 5 sets of eyes. That is.
Yeah. 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 So AD and the Smoking Nick asking for the link, guys. Listen, man. Hey, man. So I'm recording this so that we can use this for Spotify. So we not get rid of it. So I'm not gonna put the link in there so that we can start talking about 10,000 different things and getting off subject and people yelling in mics and people cutting each other off and all that. So we ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying, on this one. You know what I'm saying? Now, next time we rock, of course, I'm gonna put the link in the chat, but you know what I'm saying, we, you know what I'm saying, got an intention for this show right here. So that's the reason why it's not in there. This is the reason why it's just two people up here just going back and forth about a specific topic so that we can put it out there. So, you know, it's just one of them things, man. Next time we rock for show, the link will be in there, but just got to make sure that we stay on topic with the joint and not have it be, you know what I'm saying, what it normally is. So, but yeah,
Right.
but hey, but Dre, to your point though, I think if we could find a guy, if we could just find a guy like in the draft that has some size to him, that can defend point guards, play point guard. Like when
Who do
I'm
you?
looking
I was gonna say, who do you think has like Iguodala type potential in this draft?
at Iguodala type potential. So who do I look? Who do I see in this draft that can get picked between 18 and 8 and 18? That's a hyper athlete that can defend and be a team player. Um,
It's a tough
yeah,
ask.
yeah, that's a lot, bro. That's a lot. I don't
Because
see
granted, if you're asking for someone in that range, they're probably very raw.
very raw,
Because if they had
But
any
Iguodala
defined
was
trait,
very raw.
yeah, Iguodala was very raw, but he was also like an extremely explosive athlete when he came out of
Let
Arizona,
me
I believe. Arizona.
Arizona, yeah,
Yep.
yeah, Arizona, yeah.
He came into the league as like a top 5, 6 athlete.
Yeah, I would say if we're only talking about the athleticism, then we gotta consider Cam Whitmore,
Oh God.
right? But
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 he doesn't
Cam,
have necessarily the IQ just yet, in my opinion.
yeah,
He has guard skills, but
right,
he doesn't necessarily know how to leverage them just yet.
yeah, he's an athlete that doesn't know how to play yet,
Right.
right? So
But
he's gonna,
he gets coached up because he was at Villanova, regardless.
yeah, yeah. But Jay Wright wasn't his coach this
Yeah,
year.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, but the thing I would say though, when you look at the Knicks, do the Knicks need a Andre Iguodala?
That Well,
I mean, well,
we
okay,
we talked about shooting a lot, but being able being we talked about shooting a lot, right, Freezy?
right.
But being able to free up Brunson to be one of your shooters would answer a
Oh,
question
I
in
see where you went
itself.
with that. Yeah, that was smart. Okay, okay, yeah,
So
I see.
like instead of it being Brunson freeing up for another guy to be a shooter, because we already know Brunson has the ability and has for multiple years been an elite catch and shoot guy.
Okay,
Just another guy that can handle the ball and take pressure off of him would activate Brunson as a shooter and
let me
create spacing in that way. And even when he doesn't necessarily have spacing, just because Brunson is on the court and he's developed a rep, they can't leave him alone.
okay. So
That creates spacing in on its own.
let me throw these two names out there. Then I'm gonna. So let's do between 6 and 20. If we do between 6 and 20, now I'm thinking about Anthony Black and Orsar Thompson.
Oh, sorry, Thompson.
My
That Yeah,
So
Asar is the better defender between him and Amin, I believe, right?
and
So they're
depending,
about the same, but
I think they're the same in different ways.
right,
Right. Like so, I think Amin Thompson is more of the pickpocket passing lane defender,
right.
and I think Asar Thompson is more of the on
Team defender.
ball,
Yeah.
man you up. Yeah. And to be honest with you, chat, listen, I know that I say a lot of controversial stuff, but occasionally I'm right on some things, like absolutely correct on some things. Give you an example, and I'm not tooting my own horn. What I'm saying is I'm just trying to legitimize when I say certain things. I'm trying to legitimize the reason why I say them, not because I know it all. I'm not a know-it-all, but I put a lot of time into research, right? Like I told the Queen Bee, we were doing a show together. I was like, Queen Bee, you know what? I can see this Knicks team getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. And if we get the right matchup, I think we can beat somebody.
That
And everybody on that panel laughed. Oh,
it was,
God. Uncle
it was,
Free just be saying random stuff.
it was breaking. The seas were parting.
Right. It was and what I was using is the 10-car pileup analogy. You
Mhm.
don't need to be the fastest car, but if the 10 fastest cars in front of you get into a wreck, right?
You could just navigate around it.
Just yep. Ain't even got to break speed, right?
Yep.
I felt like I was also right about Ben Matherin,
Oh man.
right? I felt like I was
Ben
right about Ben
Ben
Matherin.
is gonna be a problem once they get all those guards up out of his way, or like that shooter, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
I forgot his name. Oklahoma shooter. Kings.
Um,
It's slipping my
I
mind.
need
You know what I'm
I
talking about.
see it. Buddy Hield,
Healed, Buddy Healed.
Buddy
Yeah.
Hield, yeah,
Once they get Buddy Healed about the way, and he gets a consistent 32 to 36 minutes a night,
monster,
20, he's gonna average 20 next year.
monster. I'm gonna let me before I shock the world with these next 7 things I'm gonna say. I want to shock the world about this one thing. I think Ben Matherin is just going to be just as good as Anthony Edwards.
Ooh.
Yes, bro. Yes,
Ooh.
yes, bro. I know that's a lot, right?
But the thing I do like about him, he has that work ethic in the dog. Like he's not scared of nobody. They asked him
Nobody,
who's
bro.
better, him or LeBron. He's like, me. What you
What kind of question is that?
mean?
I saw his pre-draft thing where they asked him what shooting guards he would pattern his game after. He was like, me. I was like, okay. All right. I see you there, big fella.
And he's kind of shattered that stigma of Canadian guys. One of
Right.
those stigmas that's slowly been unearthed
Right.
over the last few years, that Canadian guys are soft
Right.
or you can't
Right.
rely on them.
You can't rely on Jamal Murray, right?
Yeah. And then you look
Yeah,
at
you
them and
can.
I,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. You can't excuse me, you can't rely on Corey Joseph. Yeah.
okay.
But yeah, the Ben Matherin thing, I think he's got the potential to be as good as Anthony Edwards. The only thing about Anthony Edwards is from day one, he's got carte blanche to become who he is.
Right.
Whereas Ben Matherin is stashed behind a guy. They traded a point guard. They do all these things. Rick Carlisle don't like playing young fellas, and it's all these different
Yeah,
things, right?
he jerks his minutes around a lot, but
Yeah,
he's gonna earn his way.
him
And I
and
think the best
him
thing
and
for
Z
him is
Jackson,
yeah, Isaiah Jackson. Him and Halliburton. Because Halliburton can score
right,
and he's a spacer,
right,
but he's not extremely ball dominant in terms of I'm gonna take 20 shots a game.
right,
He
right.
he he's a ball mover and he'll space.
Yeah,
So
he'll space
his ability to just sometimes he'll be able to just give Ben the ball and get out the way.
and get out of the way, right. Or and the 2 things that I like about them is Dalen Terry and um
They got
Ben Mathurin.
Nemert over there too.
Yeah, they got they got
He's
Nimmer too.
nice.
But yeah, bro, remember I was telling you how it don't really take that long to rebuild a team. But
It took them a year and a half over there.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like when people are teams in this perpetual. But anyway, that ain't the topic. The perpetual rebuild is a state of mind, right?
Right.
But the thing about the thing I'm getting at is this: Dalen Terry played point guard at Arizona, a big point guard, right? Kind of like in the mold of a Halliburton.
He's on the Bulls, right? Yeah, I think he's on the
Yes,
Bulls.
he's on the Bulls, right? My thing, and I wouldn't mind the Knicks trading for him, by the way. But anyway, what I'm getting at is Ben Mathurin and Dalen Terry played a 2-man game in Arizona where the point guard, him and the two guards played pick and roll together, and Dalen Terry was throwing lobs to Mathurin all night. And those two, the things that I mentioned in your offense, do you have a guard that can drive baseline and dunk? No,
No.
we do not. Ben Mathurin can do that, right? And not with a special play. You attack the closeout, he gone,
Someone
right?
getting put on a poster.
On a poster, right? And so ultimately, what I think what they were doing once they get that bust out there, Duarte. Once they moved Duarte out of the way, bro, that was clearly
It was a pick thinking, okay, we're gonna compete right now. Then they
right.
realized we're not gonna really compete. Then
Yeah.
they pivoted, and that whole rebuild took a year and a half
Yep. Yep.
since
Yep.
they drafted him.
It's
But
so
he has a
funny.
place in the league because of his skill set. So
Yeah. Now he'll be in the league, right? But he won't be. I think he'll be Landry Shamet. But anyway, my point.
I can see that.
The point that I'm getting at about where the Knicks are is that some of these deficiencies that we mentioned, we don't necessarily have to get them out of the draft. We can just pluck dudes off rosters.
Yeah.
Right? Like Dalen Terry would be that big point guard. I think the Bulls tried to play him at the 2 and 3 because they don't
Yeah,
trust him as a
they
point
were
guard.
more reliant on Kobe off the bench to be that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And Io kind of came back to the mean.
Yeah, Io started out hot and then he just fell off a little
And
bit.
I think they gave him too much responsibility, and then them having him play in like those Alex Caruso pseudo roles that they just created out of the blue.
The Lonzo injury kind of disturbed his
The whole
development.
pecking order, right?
Yeah, he should have been in the lab just cooking away.
Right. Instead, those 3-pointers that he was taking and missing were like the difference in them winning and losing.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
and
saying?
that can ruin the confidence of the young player.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're the Knicks though, let's get down to the let's get to the Knicks and the Dallas Mavericks, and then we could kind of revert back to the conversation if you like,
Okay.
right? Or to this conversation. Here's my question, and I sent you, and for those keeping score, Dre asked me a specific thing before we got started. I was just gonna play point guard. I was gonna be Derek Fisher and let him be Kobe. But then he asked, are there certain questions that I was gonna ask? And I was like, oh, you know what? Let me come up with some questions.
Right.
I was content being Derek Fisher and just letting him be Kobe, just picking Dre's mind, picking his brain about stuff, and just letting him go. But since we have questions, Dre, you mind if I ask you some of these questions?
Yeah, go ahead. Please.
Okay. All right. The first question is, what happens if the Knicks get the 11 pick tomorrow or today? Like in your mind as a Knicks fan, what happens if Dallas falls outside of the top 10 and the Knicks get that pick? Is there joy in Gotham tomorrow?
There is joy. There is definitely joy.
Okay.
But I'm thinking in my mind how I would play it. I would probably try to piece that 11 pick and Obi and see if I can get up into that top 8.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Oh
7-8.
my God. Hey, so okay. All right. Okay. Wow, you just blew my mind. You said three things, right? In that statement.
Right.
Chat, Dre just said three things in that statement. For one, he is excited about getting the pick, right? Two, he mentioned trading Obi. And three, he said move up in the draft.
Now, if we don't get the pick, then I move Obi for one of them late Pacers picks.
So Obi is gone regardless.
Regardless,
Okay.
You got to reset that contract
Okay.
because we're not gonna pay him as long as Randall's here. If we're gonna keep Randall, which I think that's how the team is going, then we just package him in some
Okay.
shape or form.
Okay. So now we cooking. Right? So let me ask you this, Dre. Let me ask you this. Why are because you explained why you're trading Obi because you want to reset the rookie scale. I get it. Is economics is economics at this point, right?
And trying something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, why are you looking to trade up in the draft though? Because even if you reset the rookie scale, right? You can reset the rookie scale for half the money you were paying Obi
For sure.
if you just draft Noah Clowney at the end of the first round.
But I
But
want
but
higher ceiling.
but that was not what you stated though. No, I'm sorry. What you stated earlier was trading up in the draft.
Right.
So you have a guy in mind then, right?
Yeah.
Who is
A
who is
couple.
who is oh okay. Okay. Who ultimately is your preference? Say it. I'm just even gonna
Hey,
do
look.
this. Dre, let me do this. Let me set the table for you. Let me be Derek Fisher for you, right? We get the 11 pick. You say Obi, and what if the team at 4 says, "Hey, you know what? If you throw in Grimes, you can have the 4 pick."
Grimes and ooh.
Yeah,
That is a tough question.
that is
Because you'd be looking at because you'd be potentially looking at a Taylor Hendricks or a Amen Thompson off the rip.
at 4.
4 or 5.
At
Yeah, four,
4,
four. Yeah.
at 4, because I think 1, 2, 3 is going to be Vic, Scoot, Brandon Miller,
Yeah. And I think
and at
anywhere
4,
after
everything.
that it's a little bit hazy. Because you can see anyone from Cam Whitmore to Grady to Osor to Amen to Taylor. Hell, somebody might reach for GG Jackson just because he fits a certain prototype.
Because he's a bucket. Yeah.
Yeah, so like you seen guys jump for Chris Murray. What's his name? Not Chris, but the other brother, the other Murray brother, Keegan.
Keegan. Yeah. But he was a perfect fit for them, though.
Right, but you know what it is? As the draft plays out, and I see a particular guy that might drop after 5, 6, and I want to jump up before like a particular guy gets off the board.
Right.
Like for instance, if Cam Whitmore was still on the board after 6,
Right.
I'm hauling ass. I'm getting the women and children out the house.
So you're gonna go to Indiana at 7 and offer them 11 and Obi, and they're gonna say no.
Ooh.
Right? They're gonna say no because why take Obi when they can take Jarris Walker and they can take Cam Whitmore or they could take Taylor
Oh
Hendricks.
man.
Right? So now you're gonna have to sweeten the deal because think about it. Think about it. Indiana's not dumb.
Oh
They're not.
nah,
They're
for sure.
smart. They're smart, and they have fans too. They're not just
They're
gonna.
they're re- and they're in rebuilding mode, so they want a high ceiling guy,
Right.
regardless.
Man, can you imagine a team with Cam Whitmore, Ben Mathurin, and Tyrese Halliburton? And
it
Zeke
would
Jackson.
it would look like the burgeoning stages of like the 2005 Suns
Yes.
when they had Joe Johnson and Matrix and all those
Stoudemire.
athletes
Yeah.
flying, and then they just had
Barbosa.
they had Steve Nash just
Yeah.
orchestrating the
Yeah.
7 seconds or less
Hey,
offense.
I noticed how you have called an unofficial timeout to think about who you want to take. So who would you take if at 7? Who are you trading up to get? Are you trading up to get Cam Whitmore?
Cam or Soar, if a min is there.
No, I'm saying which one you gonna take, bro?
Oh, if I had just ultimately just to pick one,
Yeah, okay, okay, all
Cam,
right. So
because
here's the
because
thing.
because he's a specific type of explosive athlete,
All right.
like that you can't you have to account for.
So okay,
If you don't put your hand on him at the perimeter, it's a lob.
right, right. So here is Knicks fans rotate reaction to your draft pick, right? And I'm not saying this to be adversarial,
Right.
but here is Knicks reaction to your draft pick. Boo, boo! The little kid, he gonna boo. You know why?
Wow.
Because Cam Whitmore plays the same position as Julius Randle and RJ Barrett.
But this is the
Now,
thing.
no, no. Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish with this.
Yeah.
Now,
Finish.
listen. I get where you're going long term because this kid is 19, and ultimately, at 22, he could eventually be better than Randall and RJ put together. Right? You in 3 years, you wouldn't be able to trade Randall and RJ in a package for him.
Right.
Right? But on draft night, Knicks fans don't see that.
Mhm.
They see
A project.
yes, they see another Obi.
The only thing he's got 4 years off of Obi when we draft.
Yeah. Yeah, but but they're gonna see, okay, another explosive athlete to back up Randall.
Mhm.
You,
And
you know what I mean?
I will answer it this way. His agility and explosiveness provides a positional versatility that we've never had in years. He legitimately is athletic enough to cover ones, twos, threes, fours.
Right. He'd be the honestly, I think he'd be the greatest um athlete of note that we've ever had. Now we've had great athletes, but not great athletes of note like rotation guys or starters.
Like guys that like we know every given night is the most athletic guy on both teams.
Right. Right. And
Like we have guys like he can jump out the gym, but he ain't no Vince Carter. You know what I'm saying?
right. Right.
He would be immediately on any given night the most athletic guy on both teams.
You know who my comp is for him, right?
Who?
Miles
DC?
Bridges.
Oh, Miles Bridges.
Yep.
That's my comp for him too. But the only thing I will say is, at the same age, he has a better jumper than Miles Bridges. He has better handle than Miles Bridges.
Yep.
Like he has functional guard skills. He just doesn't know how to be a guard.
And he's got this thing. He's got a gumption about him. He's got gall for the
Yeah,
okay.
he
So
will try to dunk on you from the free throw line if you let him.
yeah, and yo, I gotta stop using these words from the 1920s. Let me use a 2020s word. He's got balls, right? He's got balls, bro. He's like the dude that legit, like what Dre was saying, the dude that catches it right at the dotted circle and will try to yam on everybody down there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know if OB possesses that.
Nah, he doesn't. Obi doesn't.
Right.
It's one of those like we've seen RJ attempt to dunk on more people than Obi. Obi will see
And that is
somebody at the
hilarious.
rim and he'll try to do like a finesse layup or a scoop.
Right.
Oh my god, no! Like I would rather Obi miss the dunk trying to dunk it than to
Right.
do like a scoop layup. Like try to make a statement.
Right.
Like exert your physical dominance. You have an ability that not very many
Right.
players can
You can't do
that
that.
possess.
You can't do that when you take in man purses to summer league, bro. I'm sorry, Knicks fans. Soon as I saw that,
Man purses and fanny packs.
yes. Soon as I saw that, I was like, he ain't gonna be here long.
I
He ain't
like
gonna be here long.
it's frustrating because since Obi been here and since RJ been here, RJ has tried to dunk on anybody.
Right.
Even if he
Right.
can't do it, he will try.
Right.
Even Grimes will
Even
try.
Grimes. Even Deuce McBride.
And
That's that.
Obi will have a lane. Someone will contest him, and then he'll try to do a reverse layup or a scoop layup. And it's just like, bro, just yam it. What you mean?
With them long fingers. Obi make me so mad sometimes, bro. Obi make me something. Obi and them long fingers trying to finger roll around
And
a 6'3"
it's
guard.
one of those things where Obi has his reputation of being a dunker.
Yeah.
So a lot of players just move out the way. But when players step up, he's like, "Oh my God, he's trying to stop me."
What do I do now?
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
float in the air and try to do a finger roll. Like, come on, Obi. Punch it.
Bro, I think the ballsiest play that I've seen, the two ballsiest plays that I saw all year was Randall looking Jason Tatum in his eyeballs, man to man, and taking the ball to the hole and dunking on Tatum.
Right.
But when I saw that, I was like, there is a beast in there somewhere. We just need to see it more consistently. Now, the other ballsy play was Deuce McBride trying to dunk on Nick Claxton.
Yeah, that was ill-advised, to say the
I was
least.
like, where did that even come?
Why did
Hey,
you think?
bro,
But I salute it. I commend the confidence.
bro, for him
He
to
was
even
jumping up there like he 1998 Baron Davis.
right, but the thing is for those of us nerds, that watch the Westchester Knicks play full games on YouTube, we seen Miles McBride doing it in the G League,
Yeah.
like dunking on dudes in the G League, right? So I don't think he gave it thought. I think it was a natural reaction.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It was just a knee jerk because he's played basketball a certain way his whole life.
Yes. Yes.
So he kind of has the reins pulled on him up
Right.
at the highest level. But then it was just a natural reaction when he gets to the paint. Like, okay, if I go up soft, I'm gonna get a block. So I might as well attempt the dunk. If I get fouled, then cool. It's
Right.
the highest chance of me drawing a foul. Because if I go up soft, being 6'1", they're not gonna give me the benefit of the doubt.
Right. 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 And so and no disrespect to Obi. Obi's a fine player, bro. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Obi. Jay Boogie
So
says,
that's a
tell
biggie.
Obi give me my song back. He ain't chopping on nobody's head. Shout out to Jay Boogie, man. And also, I think there is a super chat. Shout out to Justo11. Justo11 says, what about when Randall dunked on all of DC team? The bowling pin dunk. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, yeah, Randall can be a monster at times. It's just we don't consistently see that effort. But this ain't the show. We ain't
We
going.
ain't the show for that.
This
But
ain't the show
I'll
for
say
that.
this though, Freezy, we need to get a little bit less church boys. We need a different Cam.
Oh, okay, okay,
A
okay.
different Cam.
Right. You don't need any more, bro. Even the non-biblical names are old BC names,
Julius.
like Julius. Yes. You know
It's
what I'm saying?
it's a powerful name.
Yeah.
Get it wrong. It is a powerful name.
Right. No doubt. But so in the scenario that you mentioned, if the Knicks get the pick at 11, you would look to move up instantly? Are you looking at regardless? You're like, yo, I got to move up regardless. Is that your mindset,
My
or are you
my
looking
mindset
for?
is
Or are you
I'm
looking
looking
for?
for a particular player. So if Cam is dropping below 6,
Okay.
like if one or two of those guys that I'm targeting drops below 6, then I can move up to 8 and grab one of them. But it's like it's one of those things where you have to see it happen
My
because sometimes like I'm targeting like 2 3 guys really,
okay.
and it's one of those things where if they're gone by 5, then I know I don't have a chance at them.
Okay.
So it has to be like once it gets down to 5 and I see 2 guys on my board that I want, or 2 or 3 guys that are on my board that I'm high on, then I'll jump.
Okay.
But you never know how a draft shakes out because the 2 3 guys you might be highest on, other teams are high on, and they might plug them at 3 4.
Okay. Hey, you know what? I meant to do this at the hour mark, and I didn't do it, man. So let me do this real quick, Dre. Let me
Yeah.
y'all be patient with me, man. Let me do the Blorange Tears commercial break. So thank you to everyone listening to this on audio podcast, whether you're listening to this via Apple Podcasts, via Spotify, via Google Podcast, Alexa. Remember, just say, "Hey Alexa, find Uncle Freezie's Blorange Tears audio podcast," and she'll find it. She'll find it for you. iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and all other fine audio podcast platforms you're listening to. Also, also ensure that when you search these platforms, go find my guy Jay Boogie, right? Hey Alexa, find all of Jay Boogie's music so that I can listen to Jay Boogie for the next couple of hours. So when you're looking for something to rock to, make sure you check out Blorange Tears and make sure that you search for Jay Boogie. And whichever platform you use, please download the episodes or the songs and comment. And that helps guys, the little guys like myself, the little guys like Blorange Tears, continue to put out content and help us pay the bills and things around here. Because we're not like the big guys. Y'all already know all the big guys. We're not them, right? We're mom and pop. So go download the audio podcast, support Jay Boogie, and and we definitely thank you and appreciate y'all for all y'all love and support and kind words. Bim. Just like but I was just about y'all read my mind. I guess
Right on time.
I guess I've been either doing it too long or y'all read my mind. Right? All right. So Dre, as we get back to it, right? Are you so what if the guy that you pick is gone, say like at 4? Are you still thinking about trading up in this draft?
Well,
Like say Cam Whitmore's gone. Cam Whitmore's gone and Thompson twins are still there.
oh yeah,
Wallace is still there. Are you still trading up?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Cam Whitmore is number one, but that that ability to have a big point, like a big point forward ish type guy,
Okay.
that ability, like a min can be
Yeah.
in the future when he fills out, like when a min gets to 220, 6'7"
All right.
in a few years, and he could just get to any spot on the court he wants to without thinking,
Right.
without being hand checked to a certain spot.
Okay.
It's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem next to a guy like Brunson, and he can free up so much for Brunson.
You remember those wild statements I promised I was going to make?
Yeah, go for it.
Chat, I have one right here. And if I'm wrong, I think I can eat these words, right? But my belief is that Amen Thompson is going to be better than Penny Hardaway. I think Amen Thompson. I think Amen Thompson is going to be borderline Grant Hill.
Ooh.
I think Amen Thompson at his size, I think Thompson is looking to be like 6'7.5", like 215 of bro. Because here's the thing, in Grant Hill's era, you could still hand check and do a lot of different things. In this era of free flowing basketball in the NBA, a guy with that explosiveness and functional handle,
Get to the launching pad.
oh, it's a wrap. It's a
It's a
wrap.
6'7", long arms, rangy athlete. She's a two-way player.
And I know it seems like what it is and the chatter understand where I'm coming from, right? On some shows, you'll hear me go in theory off the rails. Like today, it seems as if I'm going off the rails. But when you look back at the times that I went off the rails, it was worth it, right? When I was pounding the table for Trey Murphy III, right? When I said I would, Dre, I said in the Trey Murphy III draft, I said I would take Trey Murphy III at 8. I would trade up to 8 to get Trey Murphy III. And everybody was like, "Oh man, you crazy, Jonathan Kuminga." How's that look right now? Am I off the rails? Am I off the rails now? Right? And I know on other shows, everybody wants me to go along with the groove, and I'm like, that's a bridge too far for me. Like, say for instance, the Julius Randle thing, right? I don't want to run Julius Randle out of town. I never did, right? Never did. And so
I just
people
want to use them better.
just use them better. And everybody is like, "Yo, you a stand for Randle," right? And on this same show, I went off the rails by saying Ben Mathurin can be just as good as Anthony Edwards. Right? I know that's off the rails, right? But it's summer, and if you're gonna go off the rails during the summer, right? Right? If you it's summer, and if you're gonna go off the rails during the summer, right? But here's the thing. I think Amen Thompson, listen to me, chat, can be better, will be better than Penny Hardaway, and almost to a level of Grant Hill. Almost. And
I would say the only thing that separated Grant Hill, he was big. He was 230.
yeah,
As soon as he got to the league, 230, 235,
right.
big athlete.
But when Grant Hill got to the league, he was also 21.
Right, exactly.
And Amen Thompson, when he gets in the league, he'll be 20. Right? Right? And Grant Hill played 3 years of high leverage basketball at Duke. Amen Thompson played 1 year of very low leverage.
It was just free runs where he could just show what he can do.
Free run, basically. Yeah. Basically. So when Amen Thompson goes to a place like Orlando, because they'll be picking in that range, I think. In that range where Thompson,
they have 2 picks, so
yeah.
They'll have 2. They might get both of the Thompson.
Bro, if man, listen, if Orlando gets 2 picks and the top 7, that means
they taking both of them.
And that means Knicks fans will tomorrow be partying like 2000 and it's 1999 because we got the Mavs pick. Right? Because that means a team at 11 jumped into the top 7. Right? Right? That's what that means. Selly, what's good, man?
Salute to Selly.
And so, yeah. So the Penny Hardaway thing is in today's NBA to be 19 points a game, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. I don't think that's 19, 6, and 6 for a guy 6'7", super athlete. I don't know if that's a stretch.
Look, man, Ben Mathurin averaged, I believe, 16, 17 this year as a rookie.
In his rookie season.
Yeah. I'd have to check for sure, but he definitely averaged high teens.
Right. Right,
Yeah,
bro.
he averaged 16.7 this year. And that was with his minutes getting jerked around and being inconsistent.
Right. And so I'm looking at Penny Hardaway's numbers. Penny in his first season was 16 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists on 46% from the floor and 26% from three. That's not I don't know if that's out of the realm of possibility, bro.
If he look, when we talk about these kids, if they get 30 minutes, nightly 30 minutes, oh,
Right.
it's definitely in the realm of possibility.
Right.
Almost a given if they get 30 minutes, but we don't know the situations that they're going into, who they're backing up, or if
Right.
they're gonna get those minutes. But once they get 27 to 30 to 32 minutes,
Right.
they're just gonna accumulate those stats, accumulate data for themselves on how to play and adjust to the league.
Right.
It's self-learning, essentially.
Is so for Penny's career, Penny is 15, 4, and 5, right? And that sounds modest, right? Because we all know
A lot of the end of his career was just
a lot of. So what I'm looking at is his best 8 seasons.
Mhm.
His best 8 seasons, Penny Hardaway was probably 18, 7, and 6.
Okay.
Right. And so 18, 7, and 6.
But
Is that not
if we're like his best 8 seasons, but like he was kind of he had the injury bug like right after his 5th season or during his 5th season.
during his 5th season? Yeah.
And that sent his like because his trajectory before that was
Insane.
20, 20, 20
Right.
every year, consistent 20 with his playmaking increasing every year.
Right. Okay. So is it impossible for Amin Thompson to average 20 points a game?
No.
Would
Not his first year, but second year, third year.
Right. What about the 6 and 6 part? The 6 rebounds and the 6 assists.
I think that'll be a given because they're just high motor players.
Right. Right.
And if they're allowed to be point forwards or point guards
right.
or just big guards, that'll come with it.
I think if he goes to Orlando, it's done. He a point guard of the future. I think he the point guard of the future. Off rip.
Yeah. They're gonna have to get rid of figure something out with that combo guard they drafted a couple years ago. That's it.
Jalen Suggs.
Yeah, they're gonna have to figure something out with him.
Yeah.
Because they drafted him to be a point guard, but he's not at this level.
Yeah, I think that the easy thing for him is get used to being in Oklahoma City. You know what I'm saying? Try to have a nice life in Phoenix, Arizona.
It might be disrespectful to Jalen Suggs, but
yeah,
he kind of reminds me of Josh Hart, except with like better handle.
Yeah,
yeah.
And no disrespect,
no disrespect.
But so I think Amin Thompson is a certified bona fide Hall of Famer. I think if he was in, who was the number 1 pick in last year's draft? Paolo Banchero?
Yeah, Paolo.
If Amin Thompson was in last year's draft, I think he'd probably be the number 2 pick.
Ahead of Jabari?
Oh.
Yeah.
I think that go without saying.
Yeah.
I
think Jabari was just the overall quote unquote safe pick. But when guys were hyping him as the number 1 all year, I didn't buy that.
I didn't buy that either. I didn't
talking about or comparing him to Kevin Durant. He was not near the fluid scorer that Durant was,
and neither did he want to be.
Yeah,
he
focused a lot more on defense too. So that was one of his calling cards. He could play a bit of defense, but he's just a safe guy. He was like kind of like a younger Trey Murphy, basically. How he was
Right.
utilized. Younger Trey Murphy, because he was 19, he goes higher in the draft. But his
Um,
ceiling ultimately, I don't think is gonna be that high. Like it's not gonna be Paolo's ceiling.
no, no. But the
Oh yeah, Chet
comparison.
was number 2. Jabari did go 3.
Yeah, Chet. Yeah, that's right. Right.
Selly
Yeah.
Bird. Yeah.
Either way, bro. It don't matter who in that top 5 outside of Paolo. I'm still taking him number 2 over all of them.
Right.
Over Ivy, over Keegan Murray, over and no, and I understand what y'all saying in the chat, and thank you for the correction too, by the way. But I think Amen Thompson offering 19, 6, and 6 off rip is it.
It's something to be said about like an explosive but fluid athlete at 6'7" and has feel can play make.
That can change speeds easily.
Yeah, yeah. It's you don't you don't see that every year.
No, 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 you don't. And the thing is, he is a version of say Zach LaVine, but bigger, right? But at the same time, for him to be considered a point guard coming out of high school, he's considered a point guard. I think the only reason why people have wing attached to his name is because it's lazy scouting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you see a guy that can manipulate the defense with his ball handling and body movement and pass with either hand and can handle
It's a
and
point
can
guard.
see the floor, he's absolutely a
Only thing
point
he's
guard.
missing is the jumper and outcome.
Right. And his jump shot has to be completely scrapped and overhauled. I watched it before this show. His footwork is inconsistent.
Right.
Sometimes he's a scoot shooter like Klay Thompson, and then other times he's a 1-2 left-right step jump shooter like Steph Curry. And what that lets me know is he's not comfortable with his shot at all.
Or they are overhauling it and he just has bad habits and he's trying
And
to
he's
break
got
them.
bad.
Because
Yeah,
like a lot of times when guys change their or attempting to overhaul their shot, when they get caught up in the game, they don't think, they just play.
right,
And then they revert to old habits. Like it even happened with Lonzo.
right, right, right. No doubt. And I'm just gonna say, bro, I think the dude is gonna be Penny Hardaway. Now, with that said, I don't think he is gonna be the best Thompson twin to get drafted.
The other one's gonna be Kobe.
The other one is Kobe Bryant esque, bro. The other is I'm gonna say I don't want to say he's gonna be better than Kobe, and let me rephrase, not even just as good as Kobe,
His
but
profile is
the profile, the 6'6" shooting guard, the hyper athlete
with body control,
with body control and explosion and smoothness, bro.
fluidity. Like this is the thing that gets overlooked with Kobe. Kobe was never the most athletic guy, but he was like 95th percentile. So, but
Right,
when you throw in the fluidity and the body control, that made up for all of it. The dexterity, either
right.
hand, and all that other stuff.
And the dog.
Yeah, the mentality.
Yes. Yes. That Mamba mentality. That you're the most the reason why
You're not gonna outwork me.
right. To when you watch Asar Thompson, sometimes he's aggravating and that
His motor
um
is kind of touch and go. But
no
it. I was gonna say, but it's like you got to take into account like a lot of level of competition brings the best out of certain talents.
I think his like what I noticed is when there's a 3-car pileup for the ball on the floor, he not diving for it. And I'm glad of that. Because the last thing you want to do is be an Antonio McDyess type player where like these freak accidents happen to a freak athlete all the time.
Yeah,
Right. You don't want to, you know what I'm saying? It's preseason and you break your kneecap. You don't want you don't want that happening. Now, when you get to your team, it's Shaden Sharp. is the example,
Yeah,
right?
Shaden Sharp was he was thinking of the long game, basically.
Right,
So, like
right.
like diving for this ball when I'm 18 and risking these injuries when I'm just 18. Well, he was super young when he got out. So
Yeah, yeah. He was 17 at Kentucky.
yeah, he was 17. So it was like he knew his stock was going to be what it was. So what's the point?
Right.
You gotta like ultimately it is a business, and you are your own CEO.
You are a walking corporation, right? And the thing that aggravates me with Arsar is when you watch some of these overtime elite games, I think he wants to destroy the competitor so much that he does foolish, immature stuff. Right? Like, bro, you being guarded by a 6'1" dude. He got you in the post. Why are you backing up trying to take him ISO, bro?
Like this guy is gonna top out somewhere in Europe. Like
Somewhere, parts
like
unknown.
might be in China.
Right, right. And then the center you playing is your height, right? And you see him at the rim. Yo, you don't have to dunk on him with two hands, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now I know in the same show, I sound like a hypocrite, right? Because when I was like, yo, Obi need to dunk on everything in sight. And then in the same show, less than an hour later, I'm like, man, Asor, you need to dial back that dog, man. Can you be a puppy for a little while? The context is different.
Right.
I think this dude is gonna be a 25-point per game scorer off rip. I mean, not off rip like day one.
A few years.
Yeah, but once he gets there, he's gonna stay there.
Yeah.
Right. And depending on who's picking in this area, like if he messes around, if the Charlotte Hornets trip and fall into Asor Thompson
Oh
and
God.
LaMelo in the same
Oh
backcourt
God.
with
They're gonna be
Miles
throwing lobs to
Bridges.
each other.
Oh
Oh,
my God, bro, is can you imagine a team of LaMelo, Asar Thompson, and Miles Bridges on a nightly basis with Mark Williams and Kai Jones?
it'll be like the early '90s again. But it's instead of it being forwards that are the most explosive players, forwards and centers, it'll be guard play. It'll be the explosive ones.
Right. And so as soon as you get Asar Thompson, you know he's locked in at the two because you want Miles Bridges to be either your 3 or 4,
Yeah.
one of them. Right. I mean, bro, I think this dude is going to be maybe not Kobe. I want to walk that back some, but he's got this weird tangible that I don't think can be coached out of a guy. Right. It's like okay, for instance, BJ Boston was a good athlete, right? Brandon Boston, y'all know who I'm talking about, right?
Uh-huh.
He
Yeah.
was he was a pretty good athlete, right? But he was like the guy that could be that guy, but when his shot is not going, you can see him being dejected.
Yeah. Frustrated.
Yeah, like you can't be a scorer thinking about all the shots you missed.
It's like some of these younger guys from this era, they're thinking about their shooting percentages. A lot
Yes.
of the time, like you can see, and I think Kevin Durant spoiled a lot of these guys in terms of shooting percentages and looking
Yeah.
at their optics and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because for Kobe wouldn't give a damn if he was 1 for 22.
Did you know Kobe Bryant in the clutch shot 39% from the floor? I saw a dude do it. The most clutch player in NBA history. Chad, this is crazy. When I say his name, y'all gonna be like, get out of here. The most clutch player in
LeBron.
NBA history, right? Think about all the names you think I could possibly say. And when I say his name, y'all gonna be like, what?
Go
The
for it.
most clutch player in NBA history, according to a video I saw on YouTube late last year, is Paul Pierce.
Is it really?
Paul Pierce shot
Well, I mean,
40.
I saw firsthand he done killed us in
Yeah,
the clutch.
Paul
Like,
Pierce shot 43% from the floor in the clutch. And in the clutch now, I'm talking about with the double teams coming, with the triple teams coming, with stuff on the line, Paul Pierce was 43% from the floor.
mm,
Right? Michael Jordan was like 40.5% from the floor. Kobe was 39% from the floor.
those are the toughest shots because they're not
Yes.
calling fouls either.
No, they're not calling fouls. And you got to take everything into context. The team, they're defending the pass. So not only do you have to make the catch, you have to recognize the double team because it's coming,
Got to
right?
keep your eye on the clock.
Right. And you got to get your shot off. Right. So
And
and
he
you got,
did it while not being the most explosive athlete. Like, he would just do that little shoulder shimmy, put his shoulder into you, get to his little step back,
yep,
splash
yep,
over double teams.
yep, yep. And so while I mean, you know, basically things are what they are. But Dre, here's the thing. All right, so I asked you the question, what would you do if and I can't remember the video. I gotta find it. I'm gonna try to find that video and put a link to it on the community page. But okay, so Dre, I asked you what would you do if the Knicks get the pick, right? Now I have to ask you the other question. What do you do if the Knicks don't get the pick?
It's almost the same. I'm moving Obi for one. I'm going to attempt to move Obi from one of those late first rounders and
Okay.
swing for a high ceiling guy that might be very raw, like one of the guys you named earlier.
Um GG Jackson, Noah Clowney.
No. Noah Clowney. Yeah,
Noah Clowney. Okay.
reset it with another 3/4 super rangy athlete that can guard 1 through 5,
Okay.
depending on what the alignment is, and work on his raw parts of his game,
Okay.
and let him utilize his already NBA skill, which is his
Okay.
defense and
Okay.
rebounding, which
Okay.
Tibbs could always use.
Tibbs could always use that. Hmm do you consider trading Randall?
Nah,
Okay.
I that it's hard to say because of the way the season ended miserably or whatever. But it's like you're not gonna in this summer you're not gonna get correct value for Randall, just equal value. It's just not plausible. Like, when we talk about Randall, him being one of the best defensive rebounders in the league, you're not gonna get rid of that. Like, 10 rebounds and just straight production. It's hard to get equal value. It's just hard. I know,
Right.
like I know everyone wants to run him out. I understand completely, but it's hard to. It's just hard to. Like, you're not gonna get equal value.
Um hmm,
If you were to move Randall, it would probably be for someone that plays his position, or as part of like a huge blockbuster deal. But you would not be like, hypothetically, you would not be moving Randall for Zach LaVine.
no.
No, you'd
I
be
like
moving Randall
Randall.
for another front court player.
I like Randall. I like Randall a lot. Right? I like Randall. Man, I like Julius Randall a lot. I would consider trading Randall for the number 8 pick from the Washington
Ooh,
Wizards, Corey Kispert, and Denny. That's all I'd be asking for.
Corey Kispert, Denny, and number 8.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to take a step back in the short term to bounce back and bounce back the following year when the free agents for that year and guys that might be asking out for that year? Because ultimately, do you think you're gonna do you think RJ turned the corner in your
Um,
mind?
I'm not sure.
Because if you do think that, then I can be like, okay, I wouldn't take that hit in production
Right.
over the 82 game season.
I think um production is a product of who you feel in certain roles,
For sure.
right? And so while I still like Randall, I'm 50-50 on Randall now as opposed to 90-10. So I
Right.
was 90-10 keeping Randall. The
Right.
only 10% is if we can get Giannis. You
Oof.
did you know what I'm saying? That was the
You don't
that was the
even you
10%.
don't even think about that. You
Right, right. That's what I'm saying. So
just
that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. So in my mind, no player is untradeable.
yeah, in my
Even
mind,
even
no.
Brunson, Brunson's not untradeable, but he's in that 90% area where it's got to be some
Perfect.
type of
We gotta come up.
yes. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not even trading Brunson for SGA at this point,
Yeah.
right? What I'm saying is ultimately though no player is untradeable, but I'm less on that untradeable thing with Randall now than I think.
Than before.
Yeah, and I'm also probably right now knowing that we just lost to the Heat like just a few days ago. I'm probably bitter,
Mhm.
right? I'm probably bitter and saying these things out of frustration. But Randall is my guy now. The RJ part, RJ Barrett is my guy, but I'm a staunch 75-25 on Randall, and I mean on RJ, and I'm gonna stay there,
Yeah.
right? But in that 25% thing, if a team like Orlando was like, yo, I'll give you 6 and 11 for RJ,
Ooh.
bye,
Yeah. Yeah.
bye.
Not even thinking. Not even
Yeah, you
thinking.
feel me? So it's like everything there is like um nuance to this. I love RJ Barrett, right? Y'all know I love RJ. RJ frustrate the hell out of me. Like RJ Barrett is the only pick and roll player that legit needs to back all the way up to Atlantic City to get a running start on the pick and roll, bro. I'm like, RJ, why you need to back up all the way to Atlantic City to start?
Bagging up to Newburgh.
Yes, bro, you legit RJ Barrett is backing all the way up to Passaic, New Jersey,
Oh man.
just to start the pick and roll. I'm like, RJ, don't you know every step backwards you take gives the other defense another step at repositioning for what's coming?
They can see you, RJ.
Yes.
They can see you as we can see you.
Right. 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 Like when Mitch has a guy pinned under the rim or Randall, and this is one of the things that frustrates me with our offense. And I'm not gonna run it because this is not the show for it. But think about what I'm saying as we talk about the draft. Julius Randle can have his man pinned in the post. Mitch comes out up top to set the screen. He has to inch further and further and further and further away from the rim to the point where Mitch is 30 feet from the rim, right? RJ is still backing up. Once Mitch sets at 32 feet, then RJ takes the screen and goes full speed to the rim. But guess what? During that time, Julius Randle's man has fought out of the pin down, and now you're asking your lob threat to beat you to the rim. Now you're asking a 7-footer to get 30 to cover 32 feet and be ready for the lob. And these are
Not plausible.
right, and these are the type things where I try to convince everyday
Because
Knicks fans that
because if
that
RJ's handle was better, he wouldn't have to back up to create the space
right,
to beat his man.
right,
So
right. And you're right. These are the type of things that I'm saying when ordinary Knicks fans say we need to run more pick and roll, less ISO. Stop. Stop,
he
man.
turns that pick and roll into an ISO.
Yes. Yes. And
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 unfortunately,
he gets bailed out a lot too by ball movement.
and I would say this to that end though, like even if we do run a lot more pick and roll, other guys on the team don't really. utilize the lob. Even to that point, RJ's the only one that really throws the lob.
Hey,
So,
right. And the reason why the pick and roll works is because the guy that we're isolating in the pick and roll is in jeopardy,
jail.
but we don't put him in jeopardy because nobody's attacking the rim and we don't have a Reggie Miller in the corner.
Hmm.
So now if you look at this draft, when you're looking at this draft, you're like, I need to get either a Dominique Wilkins, a Reggie Miller, or a Blake Griffin out of the draft. And I'm not saying these players specifically, but the player prototype. Right? When Chris Paul used to turn that corner from DeAndre Jordan, man, if you came up to stop his midi, Blake Griffin was gonna dunk all over. Who's the Russian center we had? Remember the Russian center we had?
Mozgov.
Oh my god!
He became a verb
Yes, Mozgov.
because he got it twice.
Yes, yes. And I only used these extreme names so that everybody can understand what I'm saying.
It's painting a picture.
Yeah. I use Reggie Miller and Blake Griffin and Dominique Wilkins as the player archetype that we need in order for you to understand where I'm going with it. Right. But my thing is ultimately if we don't get that pick tomorrow, bro, or today, if we don't get the pick, I don't know if I'm hurt by it. Right? I don't know if it's the end of the world. But Jay Boogie says, Jay Boogie, aka the closer, presents My Sunshine is on all platforms.
And you can ask Alexa to get to it too.
Yeah, ask Alexa to get to it. Find Jay Boogie. Right? So Dre, you see what I'm getting at? Like ultimately, I know what Tom Thibodeau was gonna be. He ain't gonna change.
He ain't gonna reinvent the wheel for himself. So
right, and RJ Barrett's gonna come next year a tiny bit better.
Increments.
Right. And Randall is gonna enter the season. The thing about Randall is a stud, right? But Randall is plateaued. He is never gonna get any better than he is right now.
Yeah, because most guys don't get better after 29, unless you're Jimmy Butler.
Unless you Manny Pacquiao, right?
Well, with aides, of course.
Yeah.
Assistants.
Yeah. The assistants, right? But my thing is with Randall is if you can keep him healthy, I think he plays better. Randall playing through injuries is the thing that frustrates us. Why you out here shooting 3 of 18 against Charlotte? Well, the night before Sunday night, he played a double overtime against the Celtics.
You're not gonna get that with Tibbs.
Dre, these are the things that I would like to.
It's like one of those things. Like we see actual MVPs get scheduled nights off,
right?
And we running this man into the ground,
right? But that's the reason why I'm saying that we need to consider either moving off of him or getting Randall some help, splitting those minutes. I don't think
Obi or
is
lowering his usage.
Lowering his usage, right? Lowering his usage, getting a guy out of the draft that can assist with that, because Obi's not that guy.
Nah, he's not. Because if he had that dog, he would have captured that spot, or we would have been looking at him a little bit different going into his fourth year.
Yeah. I would say this about it, whether we get the pick or not. Well, let me read. I'm gonna read the super chat real quick. So Miguel P, thank you for the generous contribution. Even if we end up with the Dallas pick, Tibbs ain't developing nobody. Should be using the draft to consolidate on a vet shooter to make RJ the third option.
JR, Julius Randle.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, JR, the third option. And while I agree with that, while I agree with that, name a team that's willing to just give up their shooters.
Not the good ones.
Name a
Not
good
the good shoes.
right. Name a team just willy nilly ready to give up a shooter. The only teams that are willing to do that are shooters that are terrible at other stuff and are expensive, like Davis Bertans.
Like NBA level shooters with no other NBA skill.
Right, right. Like
And
Davis Bertans.
you can find them anywhere. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Miguel P, thank you for that. Thank you for that. But that's a very tough ask. Like what you're asking, that's a very, very, very tough ask. Like listen, man. If I wake up in the morning and when I wake up at 5 o'clock, right? When I wake up at 5 o'clock, I try to get up at 5, right? When I get up at 5 o'clock and I can have a Bleacher Report notey on my phone saying the Knicks are shopping Julius Randle, it wouldn't surprise nor bother me, right? Right? It wouldn't surprise nor bother me, right? My only thing is why? What are you looking to get?
like, how are we pivoting away from her?
Yeah, what's the big plan? Like what's the big order of discussion? Like why
Is
are you
RJ the number two? Like that's are you fully on RJ being the number two?
right,
And
right,
if you are, then I understand that moving of Randall. Because ultimately, the way the league is shaped up right now, you have a 1-2, and then your depth figures it out between itself. Now, everyone's 1-2 punch isn't the same level of
right,
potency, so you need your role players to step it up or be a higher echelon of role player.
right,
But for the most part, the way the league is looking, it's a 1-2 punch thing.
right,
It's not a I have three. It's not a I have two. It's not a I have three. I have a big three anymore. It's I have big two and depth everywhere.
right. And then the depth is different depending on team to team. Like
Yeah,
some teams value wing depth, other teams value point guard depth or guard
for
depth,
sure, for sure.
right?
Because the
Uh,
way our team was set up this year, even though RJ was averaging near 20 points per game, it was really a big two because Randall and Brunson were averaging damn near 50 between them.
yeah,
And most teams don't have two guys averaging near 50.
yeah. And then plus RJ took a ton of shots, bro.
Yeah,
RJ averaged like 16 shots a game and shot like 43% from the floor.
we were funneling a lot of because that's how our offense is. We just funnel in a lot of shots between three guys.
Yeah. And then plus the 1-2 punch thing, I kind of like the the 1-2 punch analogy that you made, but some teams have a 1-2 punch of that first punch is the haymaker and the second punch is the jab,
Yeah,
right? That's how some teams are, like Memphis,
they
right?
put you down and then the jab keeps you away for a little bit
Yeah,
until we come right back with the haymaker to finish
right,
the half.
right, right. And then other teams, they have like the balanced 1-2 punch, like Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll have Harden and Embiid, both of which that can average 30. So it's like regardless of which side you go to, both are gonna make you pay. And then the kick is Tyrese Maxey and the cat from Long Island. I keep forgetting his name.
Tobias.
Tobias Harris. Yeah. Yeah. Would you trade Randall to Philly for Tobias Harris?
Well, they gonna have to send me back two pictures, huh? They gonna have to send me back something
Mm,
because if we're bolstering a team in the East, right? Because ultimately, that's what he would be doing. He would be bolstering the Sixers. You
right.
would need compensation because Tobias isn't expiring,
Yes.
and we probably wouldn't be looking to bring him back unless it was some sort
And
of
and to
thing.
make that deal work, we'd have to send Randall and Fournier.
Yeah, because he makes so much money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And well, I don't think Randall and Fournier it would be because the difference is 10 million. Like Randall's gonna make 27 next year.
Is he 27? Okay.
Yeah, Yeah, he's gonna make around 27, and Tobias is 37 next year.
Yeah, yeah,
So it would be Randall and
yeah. You're right. I keep thinking 23.
yeah,
But Randall's salary increases because he made All NBA this season,
right,
and I didn't account for that. He made All Star and All NBA with a base salary of 23, so he's going to be in that 27 range.
right.
So yeah, yeah. So yeah, I get it. I get that. What about the environment around us, bro? What are other teams looking to do? What's New Jersey, Brooklyn gonna do? What's Toronto gonna do? What's
They're
Boston gonna
saying
do?
Brooklyn wants to try to target Dame or something. So
Brooklyn is targeting Dame.
yeah.
Do you think they can pull it off?
Well, this is they have a glut of a position that teams love, wing players.
Yeah, I don't think they want to move any of that
But I
wing.
don't know if they have the picks necessarily to facilitate a Dame deal. Because,
Brooklyn, yeah, they do. They got the Dallas pick and the Suns picks.
but you know, the most valuable pick is your own pick.
Is your own pick, yeah.
And they ain't got those. Those
They
are
ain't
gone.
got those. Okay. And they also didn't they get picks in the James Harden deal?
They got back two,
Okay. Okay.
I believe two.
So they have picks. It's just they don't have pretty picks.
They got jumbled up stuff.
Yeah, they don't have
Like
dimes.
we don't know what they gonna be till you got to look up on the standings to figure out what they're gonna be
Right.
on the year to year. Got to look at the roster for each team because they don't belong to them.
Right.
It's weird scenario, but yeah, they it looks like they're targeting Dame or something.
Wow. Wow, that would be crazy. I had a draft pick tracker up here somewhere. Can't find it. Where it listed all the draft picks. Remember we talked
For
about
every team,
yeah.
I could tell you what the Nets ones are if you want me to look it up for you.
No, we don't have to. We don't have to. It's
All
all
right, bet.
good. Yeah, it's all good. So chat, what are y'all thinking? Would you entertain an offer for Julius Randle? And listen,
You know they will though.
don't just say get him. Don't just say get him out of here, man. Just say tell me what y'all thinking. Like tell me something that makes sense. Give us some food for thought, right? Chat, give us some food for thought. What are you thinking? Like, would you consider say trading Randall and okay, I'll give y'all one. I'll give y'all one. And this is a trade that I would not like to do, but I would do it just for the sake of this is for entertainment purposes only. I would look to do RJ Barrett and Julius Randle for Paul George.
Ooh, ooh.
Chat, yeah,
Well,
yeah, I heard me.
okay. If you do that, would you feel comfortable starting Obi?
No, no, no. I can't.
well, if you're doing that, you're not including any picks. I would hope not.
Right. No.
I don't know if I'd do that. I don't know if it's
And chat, listen, this is for entertainment purposes
right,
only.
right.
This
We're
is not
throwing
me
ideas
saying,
out there.
yeah, this is not me saying, yo, you got to do it. I would listen, man. I would not only would I do Randall and RJ for Paul George, I might even throw in another player.
Ooh. How old is Paul George?
33,
Is he 33? I thought he was like 31.
30 something. You know those dudes with two first names always they never age, bro. The dudes with two first names, they never
Can't
age.
trust them. Can't trust
Yeah,
them.
you can't trust a dude with two first names, bro. Like Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh no. You know what threw me off about not to make it a football thing, but
Yeah, Paul George just turned 33 2 weeks ago.
damn. But
Wow.
wow. And he's a 3-and-D guy.
Yes. So you know he's gonna get injured.
Oh God. But I was gonna say the thing about Ezekiel. You know, Ezekiel Elliott is only 27.
That's my point. That's the point that I was getting at. They don't age, bro.
It was like this. I thought Ezekiel was 31. Way I've heard about him since Ohio
Yeah,
for that damn long.
bro, you can't trust dudes like Avery Bradley.
Oh God,
You can't trust dudes like Jared Allen. Dudes
no.
with names.
Yeah, he's a little bit older. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, nah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it in good faith because 3D players get injured
Right.
and we'd be tied to him. And for better or worse, we talking about what from the past year, 44 points per game in production.
Yeah.
44.
Yeah.
44 and 16 rebounds and 8 assists.
Yeah.
It's a big chunk to replace on the fly for a regular season.
Bro, you can't trust dudes with two names like LeBron James. No, I get what you're saying, but I would entertain it.
I would think about it. I would be more thinking about if he was 31 or 30,
Right.
but that
Right.
33, oof.
Right. But today's 33 is not like
Yeah, it's not.
33 5 years ago.
But I'm also taking into account the role that he plays. Because if he was like a 33-year-old guard like Kyle Lowry,
Yeah.
be like, sure. Or 33-year-old Chris Paul.
Yeah.
But when we talk about 3-and-D wings, like when we talk about these things, I don't. It might sound
What about
blasphemous. It
what
might sound
about
blasphemous because
right?
Jimmy Butler just killed us, but I don't think Jimmy Butler has 2 more years of high level play in him left.
Nah. Now what about Kawhi Leonard? Oh, Kawhi Leonard's got 2 first names too.
Kawhi Leonard is also, I think he's a little bit younger than Paul George,
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, Miguel P.
but
Thank you for
but
the
definitely not Kawhi
contribution.
because
He says
he's
Paul
he's
George comes
31.
with his own MRI machine.
Yeah, Kawhi comes with his own hospital,
Yes,
and Kawhi's 31, but them knees are 39.
39. Yeah,
For better or worse,
put you in that conundrum, bro.
for better or worse, with RJ and Randall, they gonna clock in minimum 70 games every year.
At a minimum, and they only get hurt during freak accidents.
Yeah, other people gotta hurt them.
Yeah.
There is no non-contact injury with them too.
All right. So let me do this. So we probably got about 30 minutes left. You up for another 30 minutes?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. What is your perfect draft day scenario? And I want to give you some time to think about that, as I want to give an example, right? An example given. So my example given for a perfect draft day, not draft lottery, but a perfect draft day, the Knicks get the 11 pick.
For sure.
Right? The Knicks trade Obi to Indiana for one of their late first round picks.
27.
Yeah, Either, yeah. Right. The Knicks trade Derrick Rose and Evan Fournier together, right? Together to the Phoenix Suns for Chris Paul.
You taking well.
Yeah.
Chris Paul only has 15 million guaranteed.
Right. Derrick Rose has a team option for about the same amount of money.
Right.
So if it don't work out for either, both teams can walk away.
Just buy out.
Right. But Phoenix gets a shooter that they desperately need. Right. I think he could be resurrected there. Right. I think he could be resurrected coming off the bench, knowing his role. Fournier just wants to win, bro. Fournier wants to win. Most vets at this stage, when vets turn 30 and they done made all the money they had, they 2 big contracts, they want to win. Right. Now, what did we bring Chris Paul here for? You bring Chris Paul here to be that old ass vet that may have a little bit left in the tank.
But this is where I kind of might draw the line. He doesn't have that mentality of Derrick Rose those where I'm cool with not playing.
Right.
You know he wants to play, and the caveat with him is because it's $15 million, he will ask for a buyout just to actually play on a fully loaded team that might be going to the finals.
Okay.
And he might view the Knicks situation, even if we're like one or two pieces away
Right.
from a title, he'll view that as there is no Kevin Durant, there is no Devin Booker here. I need to find where two bona fide first ballot Hall of Famers are going to be at,
Right.
and I'll be willing to come off the bench for that team. But I'm not going to come off the bench, even though Jalen Brunson
For
is
the
playing
Knicks.
All NBA.
Right.
Yeah, his mentality. Like I remember a quote from him. He said, "I'm addicted to playing in the finals." When he just got out the finals.
That's what he said, right? And it's funny how addictions work because he only had one shot. He's
Yeah,
addicted for life.
he's cold turkey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Now he's cold turkey.
yeah, yeah. So but the reason why though,
Right.
the reason why I like the Chris Paul thing though, in theory, is because if it don't work,
You could
you know,
just buy him out.
yeah, yeah, and then going into free agency next summer, you still got the same amount of money in free agency.
Same cap space.
Yeah, so you still gonna have a boatload of money in free agency because nobody picking up Chris Paul team option.
Nah,
You know
hell
what I'm
no.
saying?
No one with sense. And I
Yeah,
think it's like 39 million or something. Something
$39 million. So that means
crazy.
the Knicks will have $39 million in cap space the following summer. Meanwhile, the point guard that you drafted in the draft this year gets to learn from Jalen Brunson and Chris Paul,
Yeah.
right? So and so while you're like, yo, why are you worried about developing a point guard? Don't you already have Jalen Brunson? Nah, man, go get that point guard with size out of the draft. Get you that where is it? Where's the guy at? So you probably won't be able to get Anthony Black, right? Because he's a point wing, not really a point guard. But that Nick Smith that may be there at 11,
I actually like Nick Smith.
yeah, that Nick Smith that you can get at 6'5", 185.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You can have him learn from um um Chris Paul and Jalen Brunson, and now you have the scenario that I mentioned. You have a old guard, right? I mean, you have Brunson, who is in his prime or about to enter his prime. His backup would be Chris Paul. Then you have Emmanuel Quickly, and then you have Nick Smith, right?
Mm.
Right. And then if you're lucky enough to get the Clippers to slip and bump their head and trade you Paul George for RJ Barrett and Julius Randle.
I
And
don't.
now and this
I'm
is
not even gonna hold you. As Paul George gets older, his values. He's not gonna go for that Kevin Durant role.
no,
No.
no. And yeah, and you don't know what the Clippers are gonna do once they lose Tyronn Lue to Phoenix. You have no idea how they're gonna operate, right? Because in theory, young, fresh legs to the Clippers might be what they need to go around Kawhi Leonard. Think about what the Clippers would look like. RJ, Kawhi, Julius Randle.
Yeah, I think for sure they're gonna want to put a winner out there because they're opening up that new arena.
Right.
They want actual talent. They have what 1,000 bathrooms or whatever, like whatever that
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
guy Steve Ballmer said 1,138 bathrooms.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
want to make sure people are lubed up so they can actually use that bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so you need comparable talent. You need actual competitive players to do that.
RJ and Randall are not. I mean, their team just lost in the second round.
Yeah, they're competitive basketball players for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And then here's the thing. What does that team look like when Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are hurt?
they're competitive with Ty Lue.
They're competitive, right?
But
Right.
here's another caveat: the Suns are trying to lure Ty Lue. By the way,
Yeah, I know.
you saw that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I know. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm merely just pointing.
Yeah, yeah.
That that was for entertainment purposes. I don't want to trade Randall. I'm on the fence.
It's
I'm on
50-50 with that one. 50-50.
yeah, I'm on the fence. If I wake up tomorrow and he's gone, I'd be mad. I'd fight the air and then I'd be like, well, what did we get? You know what I'm saying?
For
So
what? And what
yeah,
is the
yeah,
plan?
yeah,
And if you can see the plan, then
yeah,
get over it. I mean,
yeah.
you dealt with more heart wrenching blockbusters than that. So
The trade that hurt me the most was um Latrell Sprewell for John Starks.
because of
That's
all that he meant to the Knicks for the '90s, and then you
yeah,
got over it when you saw Sprewell play.
yeah. When Sprewell dunked on Charlotte, I was like Starks who? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So and Kaiser Sose says Julius Randle to Shanghai. The only reason why I won't entertain Randle to the Shanghai Sharks is because they won't trade us back quality NBA players.
Yeah, and they can't give us picks either. So.
And no, they can't give us picks either. Yeah,
I mean, they
so
can give us like a couple CBA first rounders, but I'm
yeah,
not too sure
they can give
worth
us
all that
some dope
much.
looking jerseys, but that's not enough. That's not enough for Randall. And I'm joking. Hey, Julius Randall, if you watching, I'm joking, bro. Relax, relax. Take it easy. Take it easy.
We are not driving you to JFK.
Yeah, relax, bro. It's
I mean,
only
unless you
joke.
ask me to, then cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So, but also with so that was my example, right? Go get Chris Paul, right? Trade RJ and Randall, trade the pick for Obi, right? And draft. So I'm acquiring Paul George and Chris Paul, two old dudes on huge contracts that stay hurt. And then at 11, I'm drafting Nick Smith Jr. And at pick 27, I'm taking Noah Clowney.
Mm.
Obi, that leaves a hole at power forward, right?
It did definitely leaves a hole that power forward. And you have to check who's actually available. And we
Ooh,
probably wouldn't go with the traditional power forward route. We'd probably go with like a 3/4
yeah,
for spacing purposes for Brunson.
right, right.
It's because you're moving Randall and Obi.
Yeah. Josh Hart will probably try to start there, bro. I'll
Oh
do it.
God, no.
I don't even want to bring Josh Hart back even in
You're
dream
supposed to be
scenarios.
drafting Josh Hart replacement
Yeah, Josh
in the
Hart.
second round.
Josh Hart can. I would throw Josh Hart in that RJ deal to the Clippers.
Sweetener.
Yeah, and he'll be an unrestricted free agent. I'll throw him in there anyway.
It's like we don't really got his rights, but he in
But
RJ's suitcase right now.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. So, but so what about you? What's your draft day dream scenario?
we get 11, package Obi in that 11, jump up into the 7-8 range, take Cam Whitmore, and dismiss the rest of the draft.
And just go home, smoke a cigarette.
Yeah, not even think about anything else.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then in the offseason, we sign Walt Clyde's favorite player
Ish Smith.
as the third guard of
It's
the
all
bench, third
right.
point guard.
So chat. Before we get out of here, tell us what your dream scenario is. Tell us what your dream scenario is. Just add it in the chat. It don't have to be super wordy. We'll read it. We'll read the best one on the screen. Whatever your best scenario is, just put it on the screen, and then
Got
you
one
know,
right here.
hopefully we get 11, and Arsar Thompson somehow falls to 11.
Tell you right now, if the Magic draft one of the Thompson twins, the other one is not falling to 11
Right, right, right.
because
Yep.
other teams are gonna know that the Magic are gonna want one of them, And if the Magic don't get the other one, someone has snatched it before they can,
Right. Okay.
because both those
Okay.
picks won't drop below the Knicks if the Knicks get to 11.
Okay. What if he falls and there is a reason why he falls to 11
Like an injury or
or something, a personality thing or something?
I'm still drafting him. Hopefully not John Morant personality though. But
Yeah. Yeah. No, Kaiser. No, I'm with you, bro. I got
would,
you. I got you.
it. I would love, because we're talking about that talent. That is high end talent just falling in
Right.
your lap. But it would have to be something egregious.
Dre, I'm gonna ask you because we got about 14 minutes left. Let me ask you this: if the Knicks get the 11 pick, would you trade it to Dallas for their 24 and 26?
No,
Okay. Okay.
nah. 24, 26 ain't equal to 11 anyway. Not in
No.
this draft.
No.
Are you talking about the year
The years.
24, 26?
Yes. Yes.
I don't think they would do that, but I would do it. But I don't think they would do it.
You don't. Here's the thing. Here's the
I would
thing, right?
definitely do it, but they would do it.
If Cam Whitmore is there at 11, I think they jump all over that. I think if because what's going to happen is, hey, guys and gals, when y'all look at the mock draft, right? The mock draft is generally about 65% right all the time, right? About 65%. You can't even get out of high school with that type of percentage, right? So if you're the Knicks at 11 and you saw people reach in the top 10, like dudes that like legit in the top 10, you start hearing names like Grady Dick and Keontae George and Bryce Sensabaugh and Jet Howard. You're like, yo, what's going on out here? And I
Mm,
like all of those names, right? I like all those names. I like all those
but
names.
not that high.
Not at 5, not
No.
at 8.
No, there's gonna be one or two teams that overthink, or just outthink themselves.
Yes. Yes.
Kind of like
And
how we outthought ourselves with Kevin Knox, Frank
right.
Ntilikina.
And there are some teams that are going to be in situations where they can't afford to make a duplicate triplicate pick, right? If you're Portland, you
You already
can't
got a
take
bunch of wings.
you can't take the Thompson twins, bro. If you're Portland, because you still have Dame, you still have Shaden Sharp, and you still have the Simons kid.
Nazir Little too.
Yeah, yeah, right. And if you're Indiana, you can't take I saw Thompson because you already have Ben Mathurin and Chris Duarte. Now you looking like the Detroit Lions out here.
And you talk Halliburton as well.
Halliburton, yeah,
Nemert.
yeah,
They actually like Nemert up there too. So
yeah. And Nimmer's right.
he went crazy on the Warriors that one game.
Yeah, and we played him the next night, and he tried to.
Trash.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But that's what a rookie is.
yeah.
Especially not a highly touted rookie.
Right, right. That dude was killing Jordan. That dude was killing Jordan. Bro, I saw the line come across the bottom. I was like, okay, something about this ain't right. Then you turn to the game, and he just jacking up, step back three. It was 2K all over again.
He saw Steph Curry and was like, "Oh, I'm Steph tonight."
It's a primetime game? Okay. Yeah, I got this game on TV. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. So if you're if you're Detroit and the Thompson twins on the board, do you take Amen Thompson?
I don't think you can.
No.
You need a big.
Right.
Well,
They need
They
wing
have
players.
Jalen Duran, but they need a 4/3, like
Yeah,
a big forward, not a
they're set
point.
at center for the future, bro. I
Yeah.
think.
Jalen Duran is good.
Unless they get Vic. If you get Vic, I don't care nothing about no Jalen Duran, bro.
Oh, no, you play them together. Damn that.
Yeah, I get that dude out of. I'll
You
go
play.
to a
I'm saying, but
team,
like for the first few years, Big is gonna play the 4, I think,
man.
and then some 5 against secondary units.
If I'm the Pistons and I see that scenario play out, I'm going straight to the Knicks for the 11 pick. I'm like, would you do Jalen Duran for the 11? And they're like, nah, man, we got Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein.
Oh God.
And then then after all the laughter dies down, you're like, yeah, I'll do it. And I like Mitch, by the way. I like Mitch, but yeah, no.
Jalen Duran has,
Might be Bam Adebayo-ish,
but bigger,
but bigger. Yeah,
and he don't
yeah,
even know how to play all the way just yet.
yeah, yeah. And he's a great athlete. I,
Stupid athlete.
yeah,
Like you know how stupid of an athlete you got to be to rebound like that at 19.
right.
You just snatching boards
The
from other
type of
grown men.
motor? You talking about the type of motor?
He's bullying grown NBA centers at
Right.
19.
Accidentally.
Like, excuse me, this is my rebound.
Yeah. Yeah. Bro, dudes are bouncing off him. He's 19. Dudes are bouncing off him like he 30.
It's kind of like Dwight Howardish when
Yes.
Dwight Howard first got to the league because he has those same big shoulders.
Yes. Yes. And then his backup is a dude named Beef Stew.
Yeah, I would take Beef Stew Freezie. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I would take
I would
Beef
take him
Stew.
on the Knicks.
And you know what? And he's a stretch center.
Yeah, he just developed that the jumper.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of extend your career somehow if you're like 6'9"ish,
Yeah.
6'8", 6'9"ish.
Yeah. And tough like nails.
You don't take nothing from nobody, not even LeBron.
Nope. From nobody. And to be honest with you, I think the Knicks need some of that.
They need guys like that.
Yep. Yep. So my point was like duplicity up top at the top of the draft
Right.
will force teams to, like, I think one of the Thompson twins is going to Washington.
Yeah, I think it's going to force teams to think team need, not who is
Right.
best player available.
Right.
Whereas
Right.
the Knicks would opt for best player available, considering their situation.
When I think the Knicks
Well,
should,
best athlete available, not player. Athlete, best athlete available.
if you're the Knicks in this scenario, bro, I think you absolutely have to consider. Yeah, you're right. I was thinking, I was running through, I was processing scenarios, and no matter what scenario I came through, I'm like Doctor Strange with all these. No matter what scenario, it comes all the way back to what you said. So what Dre just said. So no matter what the scenario is, you got to do what Dre just said, right? Because at the depth at all of our positions, you're like, can we upgrade our backup point guard? Yes. Can we upgrade the 2? Yes. Can we stand to add another wing player to go with RJ or to battle RJ? Yes. Can we stand to upgrade the backup power? Yes.
To replace Obi, yeah.
Yeah. No matter what scenario, bro, all the answer to yes.
So best athlete available. Because
Yep.
ultimately we're missing athleticism at all those positions.
Yep. Ultimately, bro. I mean, yeah, man. Jeez,
Best go up and get it guy.
right, bro. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Basically, yeah. Soulfinger is in the building.
Shout out to Soulfinger. Bro, Cam Whitmore will be the dream though, because of just positional flexibility and skill set. And oh man, don't get me thinking. Was it man crush?
Yeah, man. Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. Once we get the Dallas pick today, right? Once we get the Dallas pick today,
We gonna be
all
in all everybody's message there. What you want for that 8, bro? What you want for that
yeah,
7?
bro. We gonna be like them IG stalkers, like slide up in everybody.
I got this 11. I got this 11 pick.
Yes. Yep.
I got this 11 pick at OB.
Yep. Yep.
What's up?
I would go. The first team I would talk to is Dallas. Like, hey, Dallas, listen, we got the 11 pick. What would y'all give us for the 11 pick? Yo, it's crazy. Yo, can you imagine having a team's first round picks captive for like a decade?
Give it
That would
here
be the
and don't
biggest.
give it here and don't say nothing.
Bro, trade them the 23 pick for the 24 and 26 pick and hold them captive for like 11 straight seasons.
You got to look at him like Captain Phillips. Look at me. I'm the captain now.
Right. Right. Bro, that would be that would be bananas, bro. That would be too that would be too bananas, bro. That would be too bananas. Yeah, man. So I'm working on okay. All right. All right. So all right. So chat, y'all got anything else? So chat, if you don't have if we don't have anything else, the first thing I want to say is thank you to IKBM Dre for rocking and rolling with me on this fantastic voyage. Thank you to everyone that supports us and rocks with us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon. Shout out to Alexa. Hey, Alexa, find Uncle Freezie. Hey, Alexa, locate Blorange Tears. Hey, Alexa, locate New York Knicks basketball hosted by Uncle Freezie. And download the podcast. This one right here has been extremely fun, right? Extremely fun. Maybe we can do this again before the draft where we can do, have the audio podcast, not that we don't want to have everybody up here in the panel, but it's just easier to stay on topic. You know what I'm saying? It's just easy to stay on topic where it's just one or two people and you can kind of do a back and forth about a specific topic. So shout out to everybody. Dre, you got something you want to say before we get out of here?
Nah, I'm good, bro. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, man. No doubt.
Shout out to the chat. Shout out to
Yeah.
the chat. Showing us love.
Shout out to the chat. And chat, continue. Shout out to the YouTube chat. YouTube chat, man. I've been reading y'all comments, man. The only thing about it is I wanna address everything y'all say. It's just
It's
hard.
possible.
Yeah, it's just impossible. It's just impossible. So thank y'all again for coming in and rocking and rolling with us. And we are going to holler at y'all later.